Hello from Buckfastleigh. You're very welcome as we're point-to-pointing here at this historic racecourse for the first time since March 2020 because of the pandemic. So after a break of 22 months, we're back, and as you can perhaps see in the background, the first of the horses just appearing in the paddock for our first race of the afternoon, the 12 o'clock, the Tony Glynn Scaffolding Open maiden race for 4, 5 and 6-year-olds over 2.5 miles. The rest of the card being staged over 3 miles, and we've got lots of good action. We've got plenty of people in as well, and I'm delighted that we've got all this technology to bring you this live stream presented by the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area. Get all the information via the website pointingdc.co.uk, and we have technology around the racecourse to bring you all the action from the 6-race programme scheduled to start at 12 o'clock. Now, weather-wise, some news for you. Unscheduled rain last night, and plenty of it. There was 14-15 millimetres of rain overnight, and the going has been changed to heavy, soft in places. So as one or two of the riders who were walking the course earlier on, Will Biddick, Fly McIntyre, one of Darren Andrews, one or two others, Darren Edwards was out there as well, saying it's going to take some getting. The conditions pretty testing. But the good news for us and the good news for the crowds that are gathering here is that there's racing at Buckfastleigh again for the first time since March 2020. And this fixture took place 2 years ago as well. We will, as the afternoon goes on, make use of the technology away from the races and just have a look at the track, show off our remote cameras which are set around the track. But let's get stuck in, I think, straight away to our first race, which is this open maiden race. We need to update you on runners and riders for this particular race, and we can do that right now. There are some of the shots of the track, and here are the runners taking part. So these are the runners for race 1. Number 1, Arctic Poet. Conor Houlihan is riding that one, champion male novice rider of last season. Then we've got 4, Cockspur Ballarat runner, Nathan Rahman rides that. 5, Get On Ron with Fly McIntyre. 6, His Own Star, Darren Andrews. 7, Merry Dreamer, Chloe Emsley. 8, Next One Please, Will Biddick is riding number 8, Next One Please. 9, Off and Away with Megan Bevan. 13, Rock the Motion with Darren Edwards. And number 15, Summerlees, is ridden by Jake Bayman. So what have we got? We've got 4. We've got, I think it's 9, is it, for the first race here this afternoon. And our thanks to Tony Glynn Scaffolding for its sponsorship of this particular race. Now we need to update you on what's going on in the betting ring, and I think we can join Simon Knott in the betting ring ahead of our first race this afternoon, where there are plenty of bookmakers.
Okay, Dave Phillips, the senior bookmaker, standing today. Buckfastleigh, you know, what's it like for you normally?
Buckfastleigh is usually one of the better ones, Simon. This and Fleet probably the best in our area, and it's an old national hunt course. They changed it from a right-hand course to a left-hand course, which I don't think particularly helped the viewing, but nevertheless, usually get a good selection of runners here. The ground's gone heavy, but there's a lot of good entries today, and I expect Colin Tizard's grandson will be riding, Freddie Gingell, and possibly Paul Nicholls' daughter, his youngest daughter, so it should be interesting.
Thank you, Dave. Cheers.
So thanks very much indeed to Simon, who's going to be keeping us in touch with everything from the betting ring this afternoon. So leading contenders here, number 8, Next One Please. Also number 6, His Own Star, and number 7, Merry Dreamer. Well, the horses are in the paddock. The jockeys have just been given the signal to come down to the paddock to chat to connections and get ready to take their mounts. So let's see if we can switch and have a look at some of these horses, particularly looking for number 8, Next One Please. But let's just see what we have here. So a pretty decent sized field going through the picture there. Rock the Motion. There's number 7, Merry Dreamer. It's got a bit of support off and away going through the picture now. There's Arctic Poet too, just announcing a best turned out. His Own Star has been adjudged the best turned out. This one trained by Stuart Sampson. Darren Andrews, the rider on board His Own Star, qualified via the Tiverton Foxhounds. Well beaten second over this distance in a maiden race at Barber, but a race won by the excellent Western Zephyr. But His Own Star rather left in second place by a last fence faller. So good shots of some of these. There's Coxper Bala coming through. Good to see a decent sized crowd here at Buckfastleigh this afternoon as Get On Ron comes through, and there too is Summer Lees. Summer Lees representing the Dennis family. Beach at Bude, Summer Lees, where their great horse Coombe Hill was prepared for his ultimately successful assault on the Hennessy Gold Cup. Still looking for this number 8 next one, please, which is the one that's causing all the interest in the betting market. But I can see the rider okay. Easy to spot the green and blue colours in the centre of your picture now. Will Biddick riding this for the Boundary Stables Partnership. Chris Barber runs that particular enterprise. There is Will. Ed Bailey as well, supporter of that particular partnership. EEB on his breast. I think that probably indicates that he's Ed Bailey does a bit of buying and selling of horses quite successfully. Now the riders are being given the instruction to mount. So there we're going to see now just coming right, this grey horse. This is next one, please. If we could just stick with next one, please. I don't know whether, yeah, this horse, a 5-year-old horse, clearly a grey. Racecourse debut. Not a lot of winners in the immediate family, but clearly from a operation that does pretty well with this type. And for many people here, ticks plenty of boxes. Next one, please. And that one very popular in the betting market. Great shots of the crowd here. I think always a concern as we continue to look at the grey horse just going off to the right there. Concern always when you miss a couple of years of a country tradition like this, that people sort of forget what good fun coming racing at Buckfastleigh, point-to-point racing at Buckfastleigh is. But good to see plenty of people have turned out this afternoon. And there's Will Biddick about to get the leg up on the grey. So that one very popular. Merry Dreamer behind, a 6-year-old by Doyen. That's a change of colours there. Blue and white half colours, white spots on the sleeves and the white cap. Change of colours for Merry Dreamer. 6-year-old by Doyen, trained by Pauline Gearing. Qualified via the Lamerton Hunt. Ran okay for Declan Quealy in Ireland during 2021. Quite like the way he kept on for a 4th place on soft ground at Fairyhouse in March and went 3rd on heavy going at Wexford in May. The signal there that the horses will shortly be making their way out onto the racecourse proper, and they'll be led out by Get On Ron. Number 5, another one that's quite popular in the betting. Get On Ron, trained by Les Jefford, qualified via the Axe Valley Harriers. Best of 3 runs was in a 2-mile flat race here. Bit of time ago now. So the horses streaming their way out down towards the starting point. The colours there on the left of those of Summer Lees. And this race is run over a distance of 2.5 miles. So as the runners make their way down to the 2.5 mile start, which as we look out of the enclosures is way over on the left hand side, far point of the track. Let's hear from Simon Knott, who's here with a bit more betting news. So what is the betting news at the moment?
The betting news is there's 11 bookmakers down there. There's a strong line of books. Some of these better places like Royal Ascot. Next one, please, was 7-4 in the place. It's been back down to even money, odds on in some places. One big punter is responsible for knocking that bandy. He's been down the line, betting it all the way down through. The only one that's really been backed in opposition to it is His Own Star. That's touched 5-1 into 4-1. But it's all about this one punter and next one, please.
So if we just run down the card here.
Yeah, down the card, they've got Arctic Poet, 33. Cockspur Balla, 14. Get On Iron, 6. His Own Star, 4. Merry Dreamer, next one, please. Off and Away, 25. Rock the Motion, 8. And Summer Leagues, 8. But you can shop around and beat all those prices probably, but it's all about the favourite.
All about the favourite, and there are the runners. Just having a look at that fence with the favourite there at the fence at the moment. So Simon reporting plenty of support for this number 8, the very light colours and the very light coloured horse as well. Next one, please. So they're going to run up past us and then go a couple of circuits. If you're just joining us on the live stream this afternoon, you're very welcome at historic Buckfastleigh Racecourse, just beside the A38 Exeter Plymouth Exeter Road. There you see traffic in the background, blissfully unaware perhaps of what's going on just the other side of the hedge. Plenty of rain here overnight, so the going is described as heavy, soft in places. And for this race, over 2.5 miles, let's just tell you a couple of notices here. Number 1, Arctic Poet. The colours are technically brown-orange epaulets, but they are saying they're gold epaulets today. So 1 Arctic Poet with gold epaulets. Conor Houlihan rides that one. 4 runs with Nathan Rahman. 5 Martin McIntyre, as you expect. 6 His Own Star, Darren Andrews, as you probably expect. 7 Merry Dreamer, Chloe Emsley with that change of rider. Blue and white half colours. Spots on the sleeves and a white cap just adjacent to the favourite in your picture at the moment. 8, next one please, this well supported horse with Will Biddick riding for Chris Barber. 9, Off and Away, Megan Bevan. 13, Rock the Motion, Darren Edwards. For the informed Dean Summersby stable, had a terrific time at Weybridge just 7 days ago. And the other runner is number 15, Summerlees, with Jake Baymont. So the first of our races scheduled to take place very shortly. Haven't quite hit midday yet, so that's the reason that they're not on their way just yet. While we're at it, just let me tell you about the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area's website and its social media platforms. The website is pointingdc, D for Devon, C for Cornwall, pointingdc.co.uk. And then you can see Pointing DC, all important as far as handles on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, etc. are concerned. And if you're inclined to use the hashtag GoPointing, then that's absolutely fine. The hashtag Point2Pointing is also perfectly satisfactory, the one I personally favour, but GoPointing a well-recognised one as well. And while we're just waiting, the Point-to-Point Authority website, pointtopoint.co.uk, plenty of good information on that, and it and Weatherbiz doing all the hard work as far as making certain that these point-to-points are taking place. So there's a lovely shot from the enclosures, looking right the way down to the far end of the racecourse and the 2.5 mile start for this race. We are in rural Devon at its best. Plenty of rain overnight, bits and pieces of rain this morning as well, but a really pleasant afternoon right now for this Modbury Harriers point-to-point and the return of point-to-point racing to Buckfastleigh after 22 months because of the pandemic. So our first race, the Tony Glynn Scaffolding Open Maiden Race. Thanks to Tony Glynn Scaffolding for its ongoing and terrific support of racing here at Buckfastleigh. And I should just very quickly mention, with National Hunt Racing in mind, Thoroughbid, big supporters of point-to-point racing, have a sale starting at 5 o'clock today. But they're often running for this one, and Chris Clapham is going to describe the action for us at Buckfastleigh this afternoon.
15 fences, 2.5 miles, and spread right across the course. They come to the fence, first one, and all over it safely. Just reaching it for it on the inside was Rock the Motion. A little bit of a good sit there early doors. Next one, Please, the grey favourite, leads them along as they head on at a pretty sedate pace. The ground, we'll report what the jockeys say. Plenty of order we've had lately as they come up the hill towards us and face up to fence number 2. Next one, Please, the grey with Summerlees, quite keen for his head on his outside. Arctic Poe in those brown colours. Again, Rock the Motion was untidy. Darren Edwards doing well. Off and away there under Megan Bevan is quite handy to the lead in the very early stages, followed by Get On Ron in about 5th place. Then Rock the Motion on his inside. Merry Dreamer is wide on the course. And again, Rock the Motion very untidy as they continue. His Own Star is second from the back. And the back marker is Cockspur Bala in these very, very early stages. Head down the hill towards the ditch for the first time in the contest. And again, pace still very sedate. Next one, Please, with a fractional advantage, although still keen for his head. Summerlees is marching strides over that one. Arctic Poet also jumped well to nearly take the lead at the ditch. All jumped that much better. Good jumping by all. Back in 4th then, the fawn colours of Get On Ron. Up on his outside is Merry Dreamer. Off and away, also handy up at the top. Over the next plain fence, down the back straight. And Rock the Motion really reached for that, hit it quite hard. And Darren Edwards is not having a great conveyance out there at the moment. As they go on to the next plain one down the back, Summerlees has taken up the front running duties. All over it safely. Cockspur Bala continues to whip them in, is now about 8 to 10 lengths off the back of the leader. So Summerlees it is who takes them along under Jake Bayman. Arctic Poet is up on his outside from Next One Please. These three have got a break of about 2 or 3 lengths then to Get On Ron back in 4th. Off and away, just being pushed along by Megan Bevan back in 5. And then we've got Rock the Motion. He's in company with His Own Star. They're racing as one. Then we've got Merry Dreamer back in 8th and Cockspur Bala is 9. So they've completed a circuit and they're all still standing. And we've got about 10 lengths now between first and last. On towards the next plain fence. And leaders jump it safely. Everyone's over again and still just beginning to get a little bit more strung out as Summerlees continues to make the running with Next One Please. Will Biddick matching strides now up on his inside. They are 1 and 2 as they climb the hill again back towards us. Beginning to get a little bit more and more strung out, and these two have got about a break now of 3 or 4 lengths over the Get On Ron. Summerlees was a little bit untidy. The 9 of them, Arctic Poet's the one who's gone way back down the field, being rowed along by Connor Houlihan. They pass the judge with a circuit to go, and Arctic Poet is going nowhere. He's now being overtaken by Cockspur Bala. So Next One Please, match strides with Summerlees. These are 1 and 2. Jumping out to the right was off and away in about 5th. Back in 4th, we've lost one at that one just inside it. It was Arctic Poet is out the race as they continue down the hill towards the ditch for the second and final time. Moving stylishly into the race is His Own Star. Under Darren Andrews is now moved into a nice closing 4th, just tracking the leaders now. Off and away is weakened back into 5th. A bad mistake at the ditch by Summerlees. Great sit by Jake Bayman, but has lost the lead, conceded lengths there. As Next One Please is up on the inside of Summerlees, who's back for more. Get On Ron still handy there in 3rd. And then we've got His Own Star tracking them all the time in 4th over the next plain one. These beginning to get away. Cox Cockspur. Ballas moving into the race also, now closing in 5th, off and away, weakening in 6th. Merry Dreamer's never really been on the premises, back in 7th now and rode away, paying for all the early mistakes is Rock on Motion, the back marker. Forget them. Oh, towards the leaders then. Summer Lee still with the call from Next One Please. These are matching strides with Get On Ron, also matching strides with the improving His Own Star back in 3rd. Over that, and another bad mistake by Summer Lee to see him concede the lead properly this time to Next One Please. He's driven up again on the outside. Get On Ron is now between horses, and still just in behind them is His Own Star. These are the front 4. Looks pretty much between them. They seem to have dropped away. Coxburalla not making any progress. Remote 5th is Merry Dreamer. On the turn then, 4 with it, right across the track. Next One Please, you can spot him. He's the grey on the inside. Get On Ron though, giving plenty right down the middle of the track. On the wide outside then, as it is Summer Lee, still giving plenty despite a few mistakes, and now produced is His Own Star, and Darren Andrews forging his way up between horses on the drive up the hill with 1 fence left to jump in the opener here. Can't quite see him. Next One Please has given way here, and it's His Own Star who's gone, driven up on the inside. Summer Lee's is still bang there. Final fence, His Own Star jumped it the best and gets away from it the quickest, and it's His Own Star going on to win here. His Own Star has been neatly ridden here by Darren Andrews, crept into the race and goes on to score nicely. Back in 2nd is Summer Lee's. 3rd, a good run from Get On Ron, and it looks like they are the only 3 to finish.
Favourite made a couple of errors, just dropped away after the second last and was ultimately, I think, pulled up. But those are the 3 that have come back as the first 3. Summer Lee's running with credit, despite not necessarily everything going entirely right on the jumping front. There's our winner, Darren Andrews, another success with His Own Star. And Get On Ron has run with credit as well, those 3. And all 3 jockeys, actually, I encountered walking the course before racing. So they've obviously got out there, gone to see what it's all about, and particularly shrewd ride, I think, by Darren Andrews on His Own Star. This one trained by Stuart Sampson, His Own Star. Let's have a look and see how he did it. We can pick up a replay of the closing stages as the unsaddling process starts. So you can see there the grey horse Next One Please being urged along as they come towards 2 out. Summer Lee's on the outside has made some errors. There's an error by the eventual 3rd, Get On Ron, at that one. Now the winner's having to be driven His Own Star, but is responding nicely as the favourite just begins to drop right out, and it's now going to involve the top 3, and that's the way it's ended up. So we see over the final fence,
gets away from it the quickest, and it's His Own Star going on to win here.
Darren Andrews just driving His Own Star home to victory, and comes home to beat Summer Lee's, who I think has run with real credit, as has Get On Ron. So there's your 1, 2, 3, and scenes here at Buckfastleigh of those involved. Happy scenes in the winners' enclosure. His Own Star qualified via the Tiverton Foxhounds, running for Ron Alford, 5-year-old by Cap Guard, trained by Stuart Sampson. And the distance has just been given as 7 lengths and 2 lengths. 7 lengths, then the winning distance at the end of our first race this afternoon at Buckfastleigh. So well done to all concerned. The Tony Glynn Scaffolding Open maiden race. And I think that really gave a good indicator, didn't it, of how testing it is from the second last to the last and up to the finish here. And somebody predicted earlier on there'd be one or two being pulled up, and that's exactly what's happened. Shortly we'll be giving you the runners for the second race, but let's just confirm the result of that race in full. And here we are. Number 6, his own star, Darren Andrews, then Jake Baymont and Summer Lees, the Dennis stable with another second there. They'll be going amongst the winners very soon, and then Get On Ron in third place. 7 lengths and 2. And that is the 4, 5 and 6-year-olds maiden race. We'll have a caption for you in a full second, in a few seconds, just confirming the runners for the next. But I can tell you they're going to be 6, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Steven Steele, who's a Buckfastleigh winner in the past. So that's the Stanley Cup. It's restricted. It's scheduled for 12:35. So there'll be a few moments' time before we see the horses in the paddock. But at the moment, just all the post-race activities after our first race this afternoon. So as the various unsaddling processes continue there, let's talk to the winning trainer after our first race, the success of his own star, trained by Stuart Sampson. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done. I thought your jockey was in he's always in good form, but he was in cracking form there.
You can't help, you've got to have a good jockey, haven't you, beside you, so full credit to Darren. He I don't give him any orders, he does it as he wants himself. He knows the horse, he comes and rides out for me twice a week, so no point interfering with somebody that knows what they're doing. So.
And over the second last, you thought, all the way down the far side, I thought, look at the way that horse is travelling. And then over the second last, jockey just had to say, come on, let's go about our work. And he did that generously, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been a lovely little horse, to be fair. We haven't had him that long. We brought him out of France. But he's a very kind, honest individual. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's just done everything nicely today. So
yeah, and he where was he? Went he was at Barber, wasn't he, the other day?
Yes, that's right. We went to Barber just for an outing to see.
Finished second.
And finished second.
Tiny bit fortunate second.
Yeah, he was a fortunate second. A few fell and whatever but you've got to start them somewhere. And it all just fell nicely, and he had a nice educational run, and it's come here today and done him the world of good. So.
And did you fancy him a bit today? Because there was a very obviously this favourite, Next One Please, was very strongly fancied.
Yes, he's no great workhorse at home, to be fair to him. He wouldn't set the world on fire, but the good ones don't always do that, do they, to be fair? So, but no, he's a lovely horse, and hopefully he'll progress from here anyhow.
So isn't it, Nicky Henderson always says about Constitution Hill, he's the worst workhorse at home, and he's one of the best young hurdlers.
I don't think he's quite a Constitution Hill anyhow, let's put it that way.
Well, no. So what could he be? Well, what are you thinking?
I don't know. Hopefully he'll be a good fun pointer for the owner, to be fair. He's a lovely man that owns him, a big friend of the family. So it's nice for him to get a winner as well.
This is Ron Orford.
Yeah, that's right.
And what about your operation? Because you have quite a few runners.
Yes, no, we've only got 8 in training this year. Obviously with COVID and that, it stopped a few people and whatever. So no, we've got the 8 to run, and we all work hard, don't we? And it's the same for everybody at the end of the day. Wet days aren't the nice days, but sunny days and a winner make everybody happy.
Buckfastleigh with the sun out.
Exactly.
And isn't it lovely to be back here? No, it's first racing here for 22 months.
Yes, it's nice. Buckfastleigh's always been a popular track, hasn't it, from the day one, really. So yeah, it's nice to be back here.
And final thought: when people talk about Darren in these parts, they're very often talking about Darren Edwards. But Darren Andrews, and it is easy to get the two confused, well, certainly from my point of view, but Darren Andrews, he is solid as a rock, isn't he?
Darren's been with me from day one, to be fair. Yeah, we've got a good relationship. He knows my horses, and he knows how I like them ridden, and I like the way he rides, and we just deal with it between the two of us, and it seems to work okay.
Oh, well done. Have you got anything more today?
Got another maiden later on. So.
Right, and what are the prospects there?
No, he was third at Weybridge first time out, so we hope.
Remind me of the name?
Same Opinion.
Oh yeah, right.
So hopefully he'll have improved.
We might see you in that very spot a bit later on.
I'd love to be back here.
Excellent, well done to you.
Thank you very much.
Well done to Stuart Sampson, successful in the Open Maiden Race for 4, 5 and 6-year-olds. With his own star. We haven't actually confirmed a starting price for you just yet, but a very good ride by Darren Andrews, a 7-length win in the end for that one, and we'll confirm some. In fact, we're going to hear, I think, from the jockey himself in just a moment. But we'll have some starting prices for you on that race in just a minute. But the bookmakers will be cheering because Next One Please was a very popular choice that was favourite, but ultimately has been well beaten. As we ask Darren Andrews to join us, a position that he seems to have been doing quite a lot for us just recently. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah,
that was. I saw you walking the course earlier on. You knew what you were up to.
Yeah, we bought him from France in the summer. He's such a nice horse. He's so polite. He's so simple. You know what they do with him out there is unbelievable. Jumping wise, he's so fluent, and everything he does is, yeah. I just tracked sort of. My plan was to jump off handy, but they sort of went. A few went on, and I just sat in a lovely position. Thought, right, we'll just stay here. Met quite a bit of traffic. He did travel beautifully. I just asked him to quicken down the back, and literally he was banging back on the bridle. I was like, fine, I'll wait again. I'll wait. Jumped into the back of Martin McIntyre at 2 out, and I was like, oh no, there's no gap to get through. I'm going to have to pull wide, but luckily one came for me, and he went straight through it. Pricked his ears coming to the last. I thought, oh no, like he's just going to almost throw the waist away, just being a little bit leery, but once we got over it, I got right stuck into him, and he pulled away. So no, very happy.
The way from 2 out to the final fence, you said, "Come on,"
yeah,
and he said, "Yeah, absolutely."
Yeah, he did. To be fair, I always thought when I rode him at Barber the other day, I just hunted and picked off the pieces, and we only really went there for a bit of just to see what he was like. And I come in today quite fancying him, and he's done the job. He's done the job very well.
Well done you. There's a trophy for you. Better let you
Lovely.
Go to that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much indeed to Darren Andrews, successful in that first race on his own star. Simon Knott is here, so hopefully he can just give us the starting prices on that one. So Simon, come in and give us the starting prices for first number 6, his own star at
his own star was 7-2, the only one they backed against the favourite. So
7-2 the winner.
Yep. Summer Blaze was 8, and Get On Ron was 6.
So just tell us Summer Lee's again. Sorry.
Summer Lee's was 8-1,
and the third horse was Get On Ron.
Yeah, 6-1.
6-1. So and the bookmakers the
ones that laid the favourite are very happy, but the only one backed against the favourite was the winner, so it's not entirely great for them, but they still all won.
Excellent. 7-2.
Yes.
7-2. The first winner at Buckfastleigh this afternoon. Thanks to Simon. We'll be joining him again in just a second. But let's just, I gave you a sort of sneak preview of the runners and riders for race 2. Let's just confirm the runners and riders for you in race 2. So Fountains Chief, which with Darren Andrews again, which fell at Weybridge, that's back. Number 2, Fountains Chief is here. 5, Nobody Does It Better with Martin McIntyre, Fly McIntyre. Then 6, Persistent Princess. 7, Summer Cats, Charlie Marshall on that. Darren Edwards on Stephen Steele. And then number 9 is Truly Spoken with George Hiscock on that one. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there is a bit of a colour notice for the second race. And that is number 7 there. Summer Cats. Basically the colours are red and green. So I think that's a little bit of a. I think they were they're advertised as being quite light colours, but they're going to be red and green. Red, green chevron, and then quartered cap. So that brings you up to date. The Stanley Carpet's restricted you off at 12:35. In the meanwhile, though, I think we can go back to Simon in the betting ring.
Right, Richard, I'm told that there was a big punter that was smashing into the favourite, and the only one that was backed against it was the winner. So how did it pan out for you?
That was the book. The favourite was the only loser, and the winner was just a very small winner. So anything by those two. But it's a winning start, so we're happy.
And it was enough to put a smile on your face.
Yeah, anytime the favourites beat, we're happy.
Excellent. Richard Watson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's the news, the latest from the betting ring at Buckfastleigh. When there was rules racing at Buckfastleigh, and that continued until 1960, from the latter part of the 19th century, there was always a reputation here for having a very strong betting market, and as you can see, the bookmakers are there, the other side of the horses. You see the crowd in front of the horses over there, and the bookmakers. We've lost that shot, but yeah, the bookmakers are sort of beyond the crowds there, looking at the horses for this next race, and sounds as there's quite a strong betting market for this particular race as well. So let's see if we can pick up some of these and consider the runners for the Stanley Cup. It's restricted race. And just coming up through the picture there, that's Fountains Chief, clearly none the worse for that tumble just the other day, trained by Teresa Clark, qualified via the Taunton Vale Foxhounds, races for the Fountains Partnership. Odds on for their restricted at Wadebridge, but fell very early on, fell at the second, I think it was, at Wadebridge. Would probably have taken some beating that day. A couple of point-to-point flat races last spring, finished second and fourth. Better again in restricted at Wadebridge in early December, when second behind a clear winner. Under rules, do you remember this horse led all the way to win a bumper at Stratford in May, ridden by Darren Andrews. So number 2, Fountains Chief. Good to see that Fountains Chief is here today. There's number 5, Nobody Does It Better. This one qualified via the Tiverton Staghounds. First run for a bit, this one, as you can see from the form figures. Fell early on in a restricted race at Did Martin in March 2020. Quite well fancied on that occasion. Time before that finished third in this race in 2020. That seems a pretty decent run. Plenty of point-to-point experience in Britain and in Ireland. Used to be with Nigel Twiston-Davis and was favourite for a bumper at Newton Abbot. But that was a few years ago now. It was in 2017. Didn't go on from there. But Nobody Does It Better will be in plenty of considerations here today. There's Fountains Chief going through your picture, followed by Nobody Does It Better. Number 6 just going through here. This is Persistent Princess. Rebecca Wilkins, owner-trainer, has had long absences. And Persistent Princess having a first run since pulling up in a conditions race at Lark Hill a couple of years ago. That was after a long break as well, following a spell running under rules. Is winner of won a maiden point-to-point in Wales a few years ago now. Persistent Princess just going through there, number 6. The number board behind at the top left of your picture, that was the Buckfastleigh number board when they raced under rules. It's good to see. I love a number board. There's a great one at Bratton Down and a good one here at Buckfastleigh as well. We'll just swing the camera to give that particular horse a little bit of privacy. And there, going through the picture, is number 7, Summer Cats. Charlie Marshall will be riding this 6-year-old. No form in point-to-points. Hannah Clark trains, qualified via the South Dorset. Won some flat races over 5 and 6 furlongs. Goodness. Going 3 miles today, 24 furlongs. That was in November, December 2019. Was actually favourite both times. Don't think this horse has ever run over obstacles. Number 7, Summer Cats. Jockeys just being given the instruction here to come to the paddock. Get ready to take their horses to the 3-mile start this time. So that first race staged over a distance of 2.5 miles. Quite like to see number 8 if we can, Stephen Steele. Yeah, is this grey horse over here. If we can swing the camera around a little bit further. Where are you? There you are. Stephen Steele, 11-year-old by King's Theatre. Janet Ackner trains, owns it with John Spall. Qualified via the Quantuck Staghounds. Last of 5 finishes in the restricted at Dunsmore in November. Beaten a fair old way. Few glimmers of form last season, but did win his maiden race here in March 2020. Last time they raced here. So does that mean we've seen them all here? No, number 9, we haven't seen number 9, Truly Spoken. She's a mare by Dr. Massini. And that is, if we can swing the camera back to where we were, there she is, far side of the paddock, number 9. No, we need to swing back the other way now. There we are. She's going to walk towards us. No, we need to go to the right. Behind the grey horse is number 9. Behind the grey horse is number 9. Just to confirm what we've given you already, the colours red and green of Summer Cats now. They came without the right colours. Tut tut. Hope the stewards here are a bit more forgiving of that than sometimes they are under rules. Anyway, that's Truly Spoken. George Hiscock, qualified via the South Dorset, family horse, first run for 18 months at Charing in December, unseated the rider on that occasion. Quite a lot of stop-start, but won a mare's maiden race at Barber a few years ago now, December 2018, ridden by Liam Harrison, no less. Liam, who's made a fabulous impression under rules, conditional rider with Fergal O'Brien, and Fergal and Liam had an absolutely fantastic run of things during the summer. So there's number 9, Truly Spoken. A few masks up in the paddock. There's Darren Edwards in the colours of Janet Ackner. He'll be on Stephen Steele in a few moments' time. And that's the change of colour. If we just hold that shot there, the red with the green chevron right in the centre of your picture, those are the colours now being worn by Summer Cats' rider, who is Charlie Marshall. Just a lovely, I'll probably say this every week, but places like Buckfastleigh, where we are racing on somebody's farm, the Cooper's farm. And our thanks, as always, to the owners for allowing this to go ahead. So it goes ahead by kind permission of the Cooper family, and we are right in rural southwestern England. The town, well, I was going to say the town of Buckfastleigh. I suppose it is technically a town, but it's a big village, really. It's a lovely feel to it. Buckfastleigh, Buckfast Abbey, all that sort of stuff is only a mile and a half away, I suppose. But we're right out in this feels like grassroots stuff. And especially Buckfastleigh with all its history. Somebody's just reminded me that Buckfast tonic water is a particularly popular local tipple, especially for the lady who's just given it to me, I suspect, given me that information. But Buckfast tonic wine is, I think you can buy it in my local Tesco's, but I'm sure it doesn't taste the same as if you actually buy it in Buckfastleigh. So, no, my point being, this feels like proper grassroots, point-to-pointing stuff in rural Britain, rural British Isles. And it's lovely to see. Lovely to see racing back here after the long break. I'm going to bring Simon Knott in just before the runners are given the signal to go to the start, so that he can just update us on what's happening in the betting ring.
Yeah, it's about the 2. Fountains Chief, number 2, is odds on 4-6. That's been well backed already. Down the card, nobody does it better. 6-1. Persistent Princess 16. Summer Cats is 12. Steven Steele, there's been money for that. 3-1 into 2-1. And Truly Spoken 5-1 out to 8. And once again, you can shop around. There's bigger prices. That's a general synopsis of the prices.
So 2 and 8 are the main 2.
Yeah, Fountains Chief, the odds-on favourite.
And you can hear the signal behind me being given for the runners to go out, and they're going to be led out onto the track by George Hiscock on Truly Spoken. So as we've said, the 2 most popular horses are the grey horse that we've seen, Stephen Steele, and this guy with the Darren Andrews looking for that quick double in those yellow colours, Fountains Chief. And we'll see Fountains Chief as he makes his way to the start. Clearly none the worse for that tumble last week. There was a great intake of breath at Wadebridge, because that had been a very popular choice amongst the half dozen or so bookmakers undercover at Wadebridge. They're out in the open today, but undercover, and the bookmakers are quite pleased to see this guy, number 2 here today, Fountains Chief, out of the race early. Then coming through, Nobody Does It Better. Definitely some interesting enough form. That just going through there is Truly Spoken. So they're making their way to the 3 mile start. So they come out of the enclosure areas, if you like, across the racecourse, and then there's a pathway or a way that they're encouraged to go down to the 3 mile start, which is right adjacent to the A38 road. People on the road going from Exeter to Plymouth, perhaps a bit of Sunday lunch or whatever, were they to slow down, they could get a fabulous view. You can see the sign there in the background of our picture to Buckfastleigh and to Dean Prior. I love the feel of this place. Of course, lovely rural area, but a main road just next door to it, and all these things juxtapositioned together. So the horses at the 3 mile start. Let's just confirm the news for you of all the right. Well, I'll give you the news on the ground first of all. Just confirmation if you're joining us on the live stream this afternoon, and if you have been having a few technical difficulties, our apologies. We have sorted them out now, I think, and if you're still scratching your head a little bit, then a fresh link has been sent to you, so you can use that one. The ground here is heavy, soft in places. Been a bit heavy, soft in places for the technical team this morning as well, but they worked really hard to make the going good for all of us. And the ground for the horses racing is heavy, soft in places, 14-15 millimetres of rain overnight. In this second race, the Stanley Carpets restricted race, and our thanks to CR Stanley Carpets of Plymouth Limited for their continued support. The runners are number 2, Fountains Chief with Darren Andrews, number 5, Nobody Does It Better with Martin McIntyre, number 6, Persistent Princess with Rebecca Wilkins, number 7, Sommer Cats with Charlie Marshall, now wearing red colours with a green chevron, 8 is the grey horse Steven Steele with Darren Edwards, and 9, Truly Spoken, George Hiscock. They are the 6 runners for this race. If you missed the first race for whatever reason, it was won by the 7-2 shot, His Own Star, number 6, His Own Star, ridden by Darren Andrews. So Darren looking for a quick double, riding Fountains Chief in this race. Fountains Chief, horse who came to grief at Wadebridge just 7 days ago, and is on, as we look down at the 3 mile start, is the one coming across from left to right in the very yellow colours with purple stars. The colours of the Fountains Partnership. Good opportunity just to remind ourselves that the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area, which is presenting this live streams from point-to-points across Devon and Cornwall, started in November, go right the way through towards the end of the to the end of the season. Has its own website, which is always worth having to hand. The name of that website, pointingdc.co.uk, and for all the social media platforms, Pointing DC. D for Devon, C for Cornwall, Pointing DC is the handle on the various social media platforms, and that website, well worth following. Worth mentioning the Point to Point Authority website as well at this stage, pointtopoint.co.uk, and acknowledging the work that the Point to Point Authority and Weatherbiz put into ensuring that this Point to Point programme can go ahead as planned. Weatherbiz producing form books and brilliant website there with all the form, etc., and well worth having a look at. And good supporters of point-to-point racing at the moment with a special bonus. Point to Rules bonus is Thoroughbid. Thoroughbid, the online auction house, which has its own sale this afternoon from 5 o'clock this afternoon. A national pop-up national hunt sale, and then an all-weather flat sale from 6 o'clock tonight. Thoroughbid. Good supporters of point-to-point racing, and I think that the bonus they're offering, Point to Rules bonus, is for a point-to-point winner that is sold through Thoroughbid, which then wins first time out under rules. So, horses all at the start. Don't think they're particularly early. This race scheduled for 12:35. So, yeah, it is now 12:35. So the starter will be, I think, one official has just touched his cap to another to say about time to get on with race 2 of an expected 6 here this afternoon. This, the Modbury Harriers point-to-point fixture at Buckfastleigh in South Devon by kind permission of the Cooper family. And we've got more point-to-point racing at Buckfastleigh in the middle of February and then in March as well. Full fixture list via pointingdc.co.uk. Right, flags are raised. Fountains Chief. Very strongly fancied. Here we go.
On their journey. And it is the grey Devon Steele who's going to lead them on to the first. And watching them over, Fountains Chief was probably the slowest over it, the favourite. And he's now taken up the back marker's position. Devon Steele then in racing now in company with Nobody Does It Better, who goes up on the outside over the second and jumped it better. Up on the inside is Persistent Princess and Rebecca Wilkins. They nearly make a line of 3 now. Summer Cats is quite keen for his head up on the wide outside, and he's racing in company with Truly Spoken over the next plain fence. And the back marker is Fountains Chief, who's sporting them about a 5-length lead in these early stages. Darren Andrews, who has already been successful in the first race, looking for a quick-fire double. And he's on the well-back favourite here in the second. They turn the corner then, and again, pace is pretty steady as you expect. They finished tired in the first, taking a bit of getting as they come on to the next plain fence. Devon Steele then levelled at it, jumped it well under Darren Edwards. He is on the inside of Nobody Does It Better and Martin McIntyre. And on the fanning out to the left-hand side now is Rebecca Wilkins on Persistent Princess. Then we've got Truly Spoken in behind them, running in company with Summer Cats. They are 4 and 5, and still the favourite happy to sit out the back in these early stages, Fountains Chief. Plain fence then, and again jumping pretty good as they continue on their merry way. Then the grey Devon Steele, Darren Edwards on the inside of Nobody Does It Better. And then third, in a clear third now, Persistent Princess. Next one's a plain one. And again, jumping pretty good. Truly Spoken then, and George Hiscock is just on the inside then of Summer Cat, who's ridden by Charlie Marshall. Down the hill they go. And Darren Edwards still on Fountains Chief, happy to sit at the back, about 6 lengths off the leaders. So they're downhill towards the ditch for the first time in the contest. Devon Steele reached for it slightly, matching strides again. Fountains Cross was pretty untidy at the back. It's now about 8 lengths off the lead, looking to pick one of those off, as weakening back is Persistent Princess into the back marker position, just beginning to find it all a bit hard as they go on now over the next. Devon Steele was much better there. A couple of them reaching for it, but Devon Steele, who's got very much company in Nobody Does It Better up on his outside, hasn't really left his side throughout the whole contest. Truly Spoken is up in behind them, as he's always been. Again, Fountain Cross, who reached for it on the last circuit, again was not so tidy. He is closing that gap. Darren Andrews, he's on the back of the group in 5th, and pulling up is Persistent Princess. So we've lost one out the contest. Over the next plain one, and right at the far end of the course, Devon Steele and Nobody Does It Better still continue to match stride. Summer Cats and Charlie Marshall have moved through into nearly a clear third up on the outside of Truly Spoken. And then still happy to sit in behind is Fountain Chief. Turn the corner back towards us, still well over a circuit to travel. The grey then, Devon Steele, has nearly made every yard with Nobody Does It Better, had him for company throughout the contest, over that one safely. Back in the field, Truly Spoken continues to travel in company 3 and 4 now with Summer Cats. These are 3 and 4, and still Fountains Chief is sporting them about a 5 or 6 lengths lead. Up the hill then, towards what will be the last in a circuit's time. And the grey then, Devon Steel. Towards it, kicked into it, jumped it well, came up well, bad jump there. Summer Cats is just beginning to weaken. Charlie Marshall had to sit pretty tight then, and suddenly has run out of the juice, and looks like he's not going to go out for another final circuit. So beginning to thin him out already. Devon Steel then, still with nobody does it better, got it all wrong, and out the side door, Martin McIntyre. So drama here as Devon Steel leads now, and his long-time travelling partner is out of the race, and that's allowed Fountains Cross to get ever closer. Truly Spoken has always been on the heels of the leader and is now within about 2 lengths downhill towards the ditch for the second and final time. So the field has halved. We're down to 3. Devon Steel just got in a bit tight to the ditch, but got away from it fine. Fountains Cross is looming large on the premises now, has travelled up to a very cosy second. Truly Spoken then is back in third, so down the back straight for the final time. It's going to take a bit of getting this, and Devon Steel has led him a merry gallop throughout and continues to press on in front under Darren Edwards. As he continues to press, Fountains Chief is still there back in second, just easing himself up towards the leaders' hindquarters. Over that, Truly Spoken was the slower jump. George Hiscock getting lower and lower in the saddle in third. He's beginning to find it a bit tough now. Devon Steel then. Still from the front, presses on again. Over that one, Darren Edwards asked him up big and he came for him, and Fountains Chief just didn't see the stride there, conceded a few lengths. How's he going to pick him up again? Devon Steel. Darren Edwards is rowing along in front, but he's pouring it on. He's 2, 3, 4 clear at the minute. Fountains Chief beginning to ease back onto his quarters. They've now dropped Truly Spoken, who is now a distant third. Turn back towards us. Darren Edwards is now very low in the saddle, but he's still got the lead on this Game Grey. Over that, he asked him up. He led by about a length and a half. Fountains Chief now to within about half a length as he looms up, but Darren Andrews is having to pour the pressure on, and he's beginning to get up now. Fountains Chief goes on by about a length and a half. Devon Steel has given plenty. Can he give any more? They got the hill still to climb. Up it come, Fountains Chief still with the advantage. Devon Steel still not done with him yet. He's coming back for a bit more. Final fence could be important, and it is. He's down. Fountains Chief is down at the last. Hard fall, and Devon Steel game effort. He was coming back at him, and he's going to go on and score on his own. Devon Steel wins it, finishes alone.
So there's our winner, Stephen Steele, winning at Buckfastleigh again. Won his maiden race here in March 2020. Had a set 2 with Fountains Chief through the closing stages. Fountains Chief, very, very tired, has taken a very heavy fall there. But here's Stephen Steele, just getting confirmation of the result. So 8, Stephen Steele finished alone in that race, confirmation of the result of the Stanley Carpets restricted race. And another success for Darren Edwards. Darren, the leading rider in these parts, again last season. Much more senior figure in point-to-pointing these days as well, on the point-to-point authority. and able to want to just make the point that he has proper influence now, Darren Edwards, on the point-to-point authority, which is very good news, because everyone knows that he's been around a long time. He's got a very sensible mind, good mind for point-to-point racing, good mind for business as well, and he's therefore right at the front line of point-to-pointing. And there he is in the centre of your picture. Let's just confirm the result in full. This fella's finished alone, but here is confirmation of the result. Number 8, Stephen Steele, made much of the running, being challenged by Fountains Chief when that horse fell at the last, took a heavy fall at the last, and we'll get a starting price for you in a few moments' time. I think he probably went off as the second favourite here for this one this afternoon. So what a nice horse this is. Ran in the restricted at Dunsmore up the road near Tiverton the other day, and I think an opportunity coming up now to just reflect on that result. Yeah, we're going to bring Janet Ackner, who's the part owner trainer, coming in just for a quick chat. It's, if I can bring you in here, Janet. No, to this microphone here. We'll so we can hear you. We can hear you. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done. So he's a lovely old horse, isn't he?
He likes this ground. He won his maiden here.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah. Absolutely. Practically the last time we raced here.
I was praying for rain, and we've had
Get a bit close to the mic so we can.
We've had 2 dry days, and I wanted some more rain.
Oh, right. And you got it last night.
I got it last night.
So were you doing a sort of bit of a rain jig?
But he's completely genuine. But he's only got 5 gears. He thinks he's got 6, but he hasn't.
Right.
So 5 gears is in this ground. It slows the others down a bit.
But it's always lovely to. He was in a right set to with the other horse that fell.
I know. That's
but he wasn't giving up, was he?
No. He won't give up. He'll go on trying. But he only has 5 gears.
Yeah.
In his head, he's got about 10. But in his body, he's only got 5. But he's completely genuine. He's a very nice little horse.
And what about your jockey? He's got about 15 gears in.
He's amazing,
isn't he? How would you sum him up?
I got a trophy that Darren won for me. Dare I say it, at Black Forest Lodge in 2002.
Gosh, nearly 20 years ago.
That's a long time ago. So we've known each other a long time.
So you've been loyal to each other over that time.
He's been very, very good to me.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
And you ride yourself on a.
I'm still riding.
Right. You ride this horse.
I'm the ex-secretary of the Devon and Somerset Staghounds.
Yeah.
I only retired on May the 1st.
Right.
From old age, I've done that for 25 years.
And do you ride this horse?
At home, yes.
Yeah. And
not on the gallops. I've given up riding on the gallops.
But just doing whatever.
Just hacking around.
Yeah.
Yes, just on the
And what's he like to ride?
He's good as gold.
Really?
Could ride him, lead one on either side of him, do anything you like with him.
Good. Excellent.
He's a nice horse.
Well, and I'm just
and
loving.
he deserved that.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry that other one fell,
Yeah.
but he deserved that.
And isn't it lovely to be back racing at Buckfastleigh
after
a long gap?
Oh yes, I know.
Seeing all these people here as well.
I know. I think that he was here just before lockdown. So
yeah, absolutely.
I remember Darren saying, "I don't know what this is going to do to our racing," and that was the end of it.
Yeah. Well, look, well done.
Thank you very much.
I think they've got a trophy for you, so they'll shout at me if I don't let you go and receive it.
All right, my joint owner's here somewhere. I don't know where he's disappeared to.
Yeah, well,
he's there.
Yeah, I'm sure
right.
he's been.
Thank you very
presentation.
much.
Someone's held up a board saying presentation,
Thank
so you
you.
better go and
right,
get involved in
carry
the
on.
presentation. Well done to Janet Ackner, who with John Spall is the owner of Stephen Steele, who was successful in our second race this afternoon, the restricted, taking advantage of the fact that Fountains Chief unfortunately took a heavy fall at the final obstacle in that particular race when the race was well and truly underway. So that's the restricted sorted out. We'll confirm a starting price for you in a second, but success there for Stephen Steele. First race of the afternoon was won by his own star, and the starting price of that one was 7-2. There have been one or two glitches on the technical front this afternoon. We can only apologise for that. We're sorting it out as much as we can. We are running, as a consequence, a little bit late on the transmission, but we're trying to sort that out for you as well. In the meanwhile, we can look ahead to our next race, which is the Totnes and Bridgetown Racing Company Mixed Open, run over a distance of 3 miles, and I think we maybe have got the runners and riders to confirm for you. Yeah, there was a really good entry. Sadly, only 4 are taking part, but 4 decent ones. As you can see, number 1, Banff, with Jake Bayment. Change of colours, that's going to be white with a is going to be blue with a white cross belt and a white cap with a blue star on it. Before we just go on talking about, leave that caption up, just news on the racecourse that the final fence is now to be omitted for the rest of the afternoon. So there's going to be a long run from the second last. The last is going to be omitted. Right, let's just confirm these. 1 Banff with Jake Bayment, and that change of colours, white cross belts, blue with white cross belts and a white cap. Then 4 Cameron with Ben Sutton, and this one owned by Nick Sutton, trained by Sam Loxton. 5 Dancer du Large with Chloe Emsley, riding that one for Ed Walker. And our other contender is Hazard, challenger from the Southwest Midlands, owned and trained by Clive Bulty Brooks, and he's based between Hereford and Ross-on-Wye. Tommy O'Brien, the rider on board that one. So those are our runners for the Totnes and Bridgetown Mixed Open Race, kindly sponsored by the Totnes and Bridgetown Races Company Limited. And you can't really say too much about the Totnes and Bridgetown Racing Company. Invest so much money and effort and blood, sweat and tears really in jump racing in the southwest of England, under rules, supporting local tracks and pointer points as well, as confirmation of the weighed-in is given. And they've got their West Country Champion Chase at the big fixture coming up here at Buckfastleigh on 13th of February. It's that weekend anyway. So the West Country Champion Chase is always a race that's much looked forward to at Buckfastleigh, as presentations take place ahead of race 2 this afternoon.
Had a bottle of champagne from Nigel Pound, aka the Wine Fairy, so many congratulations to you as well.
And there's a bottle of champagne, as you probably heard, for the winning rider, and that is Darren Edwards. Happy scenes being captured there for posterity, filmed and indeed photographed. Look good on the Acna sideboard. Well done, that success with Stephen Steele. Runners in the paddock for our next race. We'll have news from the betting ring in just a second, I hope. But horses already arriving in the paddock for our next race. Dancer de Large, grey horse there. So as the horses go round the paddock in preparation for this mixed open scheduled for 1:10 here, let's go back to Simon in the paddock, in the betting area.
There are
Right,
5 minutes.
Archie Metcalf is 5th generation bookmaker with Jack Devon and Co. That last race, the favourite was odds on, but then drifted a bit. Was it hard to get it in the book? How was it for you?
Oh yeah, it was terrible near the end. Couldn't lay it at all. You see all these bookmakers just absolutely terrible, but hoping for some better results later, fingers crossed.
Was the winner a winner in the book or a loser?
No.
You're supposed to win, Archie.
So 4 runners for our next race, and we'll be having a look at those in just a second. But chance just to reflect for a tiny bit longer on our previous race. The restricted won by Stephen Steele and Darren Edwards is here, clutching his bottle of champagne. You must have quite a collection over the years.
Yeah, I probably need to get through it a bit quicker. So,
yeah, absolutely. Janet said that you and she'd won a trophy, possibly champagne, possibly a silver trophy 19 years ago, I think. Or 20 years ago.
Yeah, I had some of my early rides for Janet. She used to have a horse called Horrified. But thankfully he was a better ride than he was named. But yeah, no, Janet's been a great supporter. It was one of those, I rode for her in my early days and then probably didn't ride for her for 15 years, and then I've had a few winners the last few years. So.
Was a commentator ever able to say Horrified, a horror jump? Or was he absolutely brilliant?
He wasn't blessed with ability, but we did win a couple of races with him.
Oh,
so.
Excellent. And that type of loyalty when you go back for 20 years.
Yeah.
What was happening 20 years ago in the world, and to think you and Janet were won a race then, or won races then?
Quite. I'm probably one of the few jockeys still riding where the foot and mouth season was my first. My first point-to-point season. So that one didn't last very long, but yeah, thankfully we got through that, and hopefully at some point we'll get through the back end of this virus.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stephen Steele, what do you call him? Steven?
Steven. Steven Steele. Yeah, one of those.
He doesn't know when to give up, does he?
No, he's a thorough stayer. Lovely individual. I think he thinks he's one of those horses. I think he thinks he's faster than he is.
That's what Janet said.
He's pretty. He sort of runs off with you as a jockey on the way to post, and then you cross the start line, and he's sort of flat out from the word go. But obviously today's conditions, that's exactly what you want, a strong stayer.
And she said she was doing a little bit of a rain dance yesterday, and it came overnight.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we were necessarily due much rain overnight, but we did get a good dousing, and that has probably just helped it a bit. It's just hard old work down there.
Yeah. And just before you go off, because there are other things to prepare for, etc., you're on the point-to-point authority now. And I know everyone around here is chuffed to bits you're there, because they're pleased for you to be on the point-to-point authority council, is it called, or committee? On the
board, yeah.
Board. And also, you are such a champion of point-to-pointing in this part of the world. So it's a big voice for Devon and Cornwall and this sort of part of the world on that particular institution.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping, having joined the board on the 1st of January, taken over from Jeremy Barber, who's done a great job for the last, I think, 6 or 7 years. I think he might have stayed an extra year because of the virus. But yeah, so taken over. Obviously, I'm at point-to-points most weekends, so if people have an opinion, have a criticism, have a positive thing to say, they can always come and talk to me. And hopefully, over the next 3 years, working with a good team of people on the board spread across the country, we can. It is difficult times. But point-to-point is not alone in facing its challenges. There's lots of sort of amateur sports, grassroots sports, which are perhaps struggling to make ends meet. The cost of running these events now is enormous, and that puts a lot of pressure on hunts to make decisions as to frankly, is it all worth it? But you've only got to look around today. There's a great crowd. The weather's fantastic. Some great racing, and hopefully they'll make some money today, and and that'll secure the future of this meeting for years to come. And I think what people like about you, that you ride in these races all the time, but you're involved in business as well. So you bring more than one brain to the, if you see what I mean, to the party. Yeah, I think there's always a balance to be struck with these things, and yes, point-to-pointing is an amateur sport. There's a lot of volunteer labour, and that's what makes it work. And obviously, all the hunt supporters, here putting in the stakes, putting in the netting, getting the fences up and running. But at the same time, we've got to appreciate we live in a very commercial world now, and frankly, if the numbers aren't going to stack up, why would you host a point-to-point? So we've got to get that balance between support, on a local level through people attending, through the live streaming, through the central support, through the levy as well, because point-to-pointing, does contribute a lot to national hunt racing, and if it wasn't here, then you as the BHA would have to look at that and sort of say, well, where are some of the older horses going, and what's happening to some of the younger? Why aren't there so many younger horses coming through? Why aren't there so many younger jockeys? So I think, I think we've got to make the powers that be aware of that, and hopefully through my term on the PPA board we can make some positive progress and get it back on track.
I know a lot of people in the Devon and Cornwall area chuffed a bit. You're there. You're at the you're right at the top there. But well done today. And when's your next board meeting? Have you got
1st of February? We've got a board meeting on the 1st of February. Obviously, again, just sorting out meetings has been a challenge for Peter Wright and the guys at the point-to-point authority in Shrivenham. So 1st of February it'll be an interesting one. That's my first meeting, so we'll sit and listen and see what we can learn and hopefully contribute.
Start banging the drum. Yeah. Excellent. Thanks very much indeed to Darren Edwards, a winning rider here this afternoon, and now on the board of the point-to-point authority as well. Really pleased to see that. Well, we've given you the runners and riders for the next race. I think can we go back to Simon in the betting ring? No, we can't go. We can go to Simon here. Sorry, Simon's making Simon move left, right, and centre. So let's have some betting from you, Simon, on the Totnes and Bridgetown mixed open race.
Yeah, well, Shamron is even money favourite, but Hazard 11-8, so they don't really know. And then to put the fly in the ointment as well, there's been money for Danseur Delage 5-1 into 5-2. Banff is the 25-1 outsider, but they don't really know. There's money for all of them at the moment.
So, but overall, the favourite
is Shamroon at the moment, even money. But like I say, 11-8 Hazard is not a lot of difference there. So, and the money for the Danseur Delage too. That's from a bookmaker. So
excellent. Well, let's train our cameras on the runners in the paddock. Thanks to Simon, who's doing sterling work for us this afternoon, and as we look across there is Danseur Delage going through. I just want to see number 4. We'll have a look at a couple of your tweets in just a second, but number 4 is the one that, there we are, there's Cameron, 9-year-old by Laveron, trained by Sam Loxton, qualified via the Blackmore and Spartford Vale, and well, this guy's unseated his rider early, most recently at Larkhill, and was beaten favourite in the mixed open at Dunsmore, you might remember, beaten by Southfield Theatre. That was in November. Last season won a hunter chase at Leicester, beat cousin Pascal on that occasion, pulled up in the Cheltenham Hunters race, beaten favourite a couple of times as well, and but did win at Garthorpe. Called the winner in a very close finish to a novice riders conditions race at Garthorpe in June. So number 4 Cameron, very popular here. Let's have a look at a couple of tweets for you as Hazard goes through the top of the picture. Luke Harvey's excellent in his support. Coverage on the live stream from picturesque Buckfastleigh point to point, stunning. Simon not ferreting around the betting ring as well. Thanks, Luke. And here's Lauren Reed. Lauren engaged now to Darren Andrews, who won the first race. His own star wins the 4, 5 and 6-year-olds maiden race for Stuart Sampson. Heard from Stuart on the live stream earlier on. Tremendous for him, and thanks. Your photography is absolutely brilliant, Lauren. Thank you for using that the Twitter handle at PointingDC in order to make your point this afternoon. Thanks very much indeed. And any other tweets, very welcome. And once again, if there have been technical difficulties holding you up, we do apologise for that. As a consequence, we are running. What you are seeing is quite late. The gap between the live action and what's being broadcast is quite long. We're trying to rectify that at the moment. It's a bit longer than ideal, but there were some technical difficulties earlier on. Dancer de Large going through the picture there. And that's Banff, 9-year-old by Papal Bull Banff. Previously with Ollie Murphy and Annabelle Murphy. Trained by Daniel Farr, owned and trained by him, qualified via the Tiverton Staghounds. Hasn't run since finishing down the field in an all-weather flat race at Kempton. That was some time ago now. And has won on the flat at Newcastle as well. Been placed over hurdles too. That is Banff, as the jockeys are given the instruction to mount. So we've seen Banff. We've seen Dancer de Large just going through the picture. Talk a bit more about that one in a second. Hazard, number 7, is here as well. And he's in front of those horses walking down. So we'll see him side on very shortly, number 7, Hazard. He's an 8-year-old. That's Cameron just going through there. And then that's Hazard. So if we stick with number 7, Hazard, by Flemonsworth, owned and trained by Clive Bulty Brooks. Reached a good rating under rules, 121. I remember winning a bumper at Ascot. Trained by Tom Lacey, I think, and was favourite that day. Won over 2 miles at Warwick in May, ran 4th at Worcester over 2.5 miles afterwards, when jumping wasn't always great. Extra distance, 3 miles at this kind of level, likely to suit. And lovely to see Tommy O'Brien here, riding in the light blue with the black star colours of Clive Bulty Brooks. Lovely shot of that horse close up. So confirmation, if you're just joining us on the live stream of news we gave you earlier on, that the final fence is being missed out now. So as a result, they're going to be jumping. So the 3 less. So the one that would have been the 5th, 12th and the 19th is out. So that is Hazard. Just on the left of the picture. Then in the centre of the picture, that's Cameron. This grey horse here, Dancer de Large. Been running under rules for the trainer's wife, Polly Gundry, most recently finishing 3rd in a handicap chase at Fontwell. Staying on, so the extra distance here will suit. 1 at Uttoxeter and 1 over further at Fontwell as well. Interesting return to point-to-pointing, this number 5, Dancer de Large. Banff is leading them out as the signal is given for the horses to make their way to the start. Banff leads out Dancer de Large, then Cameron and Hazard. There's no parade as such, but they are actually going out in race card order.
Riders coming out of the course for our 3rd race of the afternoon. It is the Tottenham and Bridgetown Mixed Open Race. Very kindly sponsored by Tottenham and Bridgetown Racing Company. We've got 4 go to post. They've been led out onto the course.
So Banff leads them out from Dancer du Large, and then over on the left of the picture, pick up in just a second the other 2. Worth emphasising that on the racecourse we have remote cameras around the course, so that's one of them. Gave you a great shot, didn't it, of Banff. So there's been plenty of investment by the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area in the technology here. And though we have 1 camera which has a camera operator with it, we have 3 remote cameras around the place, ensuring that you're getting the best possible view of what is happening here. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the Totnes and Bridgetown Mixed Open Race, and it's a race staged over 3 miles, kindly sponsored by the Totnes and Bridgetown Races Company Limited, which will be backing the West Country Champion Chase at the meeting that takes place here on the 13th of February, I think it is. And that's always a good race. People always say it's a good part of the build-up towards the Cheltenham Festival. And here they're sponsoring the Mixed Open, and those are your 4 runners, and we just confirmed them. 1 Banff with Jake Baymont, so that is a bit of a change of colours there, sort of the far, but beyond the grey horse, the blue colours with the white cross belts. Then Cameron with Ben Sutton, Dancer du Large with Chloe Emsley, Dancer the grey horse, and Hazard with the excellent Tommy O'Brien on board. Hopefully we'll get, in just a second, we'll get you some more news from the betting ring, but it seemed to be pretty competitive stuff in the betting ring between the 4 contenders. Obvious support for Cameron, but Banff looking interesting, Dancer du Large looking very interesting, and Hazard, challenger from some way off. So Simon is here with news of the betting. So what is the news from the betting ring?
It's a very, very volatile market. Banff was 25 to 1 when I last spoke to you, is now 8 to 1. Chambéroon opened evens, Friendless now out to 6 to 4. Dancer du Large, a bookmaker bet it at 5, it's now into 7 to 4. And Hazard is 6 to 4, so joint favourites.
Well, all 3 of them
very nearly. Dancer du Large is 7 to 4, 6 to 4 each 2, 7 to 4 and 8 to 1, 25 into 8, the outsider of 4. So
it's a really interesting betting heat. Thanks to Simon for that one. So as we look down there, Banff well supported, Cameron quite easy to back. He's been beaten favourite a few times, hasn't he? The blue colours with the pink stars, blue sleeves, and quite a lot of number 4 there going across. Quite a lot of blue and a very light colour amongst about Cameron's colours. Dancer du Large, very interesting. Having been running with real credit for Polly Gundry, trained by her husband Ed Walker, now qualified via the Beaufort for the owners, and this horse well capable of winning, and quite a reliable sort, the grey horse. So that's number 5, Dancer du Large. And then this Hazard, I've just, they're racing. I was just going to say, got a really clear memory about Hazard winning that.
The favourite's going to lead them on towards the first of 16 fences. They are over the 3-mile course, but they are going to omit what was the last, the fence right below us here on the commentary box after the last race. So we're down to 16 fences, but still 3 miles. Chambéroon then, and Ben Sutton setting the pace, leads over it from Dancer du Large back in second, and Chloe Emsley. Just on their heels then is Hazard and Tommy O'Brien as they continue on, and the back marker in the early stages is Jake Baymont and Banff. All over the 3rd fence, and about 5 lengths between first and last. And as you would expect, a pretty sedate pace in the early stages. The grey Dancer du Large just taking him, Chambéroon on for the lead as they turn at the far end of the course. These two pretty much matching strides, but no massive increase in the pace. Onto the next plain fence, and they are going to jump it as one. Chambéroon, Dancer du Large just sort of jumped into Chambéroon then, but was over safely. Right up on the inside then is Hazard and Tommy O'Brien, and then the back marker just sporting a little bit of a lead in these early stages is the cross-belted Banff and Jake Baymont, happy to watch on from in behind runners. They continue on then, so they're going to bypass this fence. Took a bit of damage. I'm glad to say the Fountains Chief got up safely after the last race, and they continue on then. So the grey Dancer du Large and Chloe Emsley take it up, and they lead Chambéroon now, who's relegated back to second place over it, and she's now going up the inside of the course. Then follows Hazard, and Banff still happy to wait in behind, about 6 or 7 lengths off the leader. Downhill towards the ditch for the first time in the contest then, and they jump this one twice. Dancer du Large still with the advantage. Chambéroon is only about half length back in second. A further half length back, quite keen for his head back in third. His Huzzar jumped it well. Doesn't want to be doing too much in this ground too early. Bamf then is a couple of lengths off, but back in fourth off the main three. So continuing down past their point of departure, and another plain fence awaits them. The line of three down the back straight, and really saw a great stride there, the grey Danseur de Large. And the one that didn't see a great stride was Huzzar. Got a bit tight to it, and Tommy O'Brien just lost his irons, but he's got them back in and doesn't seem to have lost too much ground. Danseur de Large just got tight to that plain fence and but still holds a 3 or 4 length lead over Chameron. No distress signals certainly from him back in second, and Huzzar still travels kindly in third. Probably just a bit too fresh and keen for my liking in these early stages. Bamf is just beginning to get a little bit more relegated in fourth now. He's now about 5 lengths off the back of the main group and sporting the leader a good 10 lengths as they continue on their merry way. They're reaching the far end of the course again for the second time. Danseur de Large then and Chloe Emsley by about a length and a half from Chameron, as they've been for most of the circuit now, as they continue towards the next plain fence. See how they jump it. Both jump it well. Huzzar then back in third is a little bit less keen now and is settled back in third, but is about a couple of lengths off them, and then Bamf still continues in fourth. So back towards as they come, and they begin the climb of the hill. Remember, they're not going to jump this plain fence, so they've got a long way to go before they take off again. And coming up the hill they are, and Danseur de Large taken on for the lead by Chameron on the outside, and Huzzar just trying to come up the inside now. Certainly not quite so fresh and keen as he was a circuit ago. Bamf about 5 lengths off these, back in fourth. On the way towards the next plain fence then, in the Totnes and Bridgetown mixed open race. And over the next plain one, jumping out to his right there was Chameron, and out to the left Danseur de Large. These two have just got away a little bit then from Huzzar back in third, and then Bamf in fourth is just still getting a little further remote and just being ridden along now by Jake Bayman as they continue down the hill towards the ditch for the final time. So Chameron has found himself in front. Low-haired carriage still travels well for Ben Sutton. He got tight to the ditch there, Chameron, and Danseur de Large jumped past him. So Danseur de Large back to the front. Chameron, who looked like he was just beginning to press on then, has halted his way, and they are now matching stride. So the line of 3 fences down the back. Huzzar still weighted with back in third, doesn't want to take them on too early. Over the next plain one, 3 in the air pretty much together. Bamf with the slow jump back in fourth, and he looks like he's about to cry enough. So Bamf is going to be pulled up out the race, and we're nearly to a line of 3 for the remainder. Chameron on the outside. Again, Chameron hit the top of that, just through the top, and he's a bit lower in the saddle now. Ben Sutton, the favourite backers. He's now back on an even keel to make it a line of 3. But it's not ideal. Chameron on the outside then of Danseur de Large. Huzzar's the one with the eye-catching progress up the inside for Tommy O'Brien. He's still hanging on to him as they begin to reach the far end of the course. Then Huzzar then and Chameron have gone on. Danseur de Large still very, very much on the premises. Only a length back in third, but just getting a bit lower in the saddle. Chloe Emsley on the bottom turn then. Chameron still travels probably fractionally the best from Huzzar on the inside. They come towards what is the final fence of it. Chameron again gets it wrong. Oh, his jumping's not been great today. And Huzzar then back to the lead. He's handed him a 2-length lead. Chameron's going to have to do it the real hard way up the hill now. Huzzar presses on for the line, and he still holds sway by about a length and a half. Chameron, as he just made too many mistakes, he can't seem to get back at him now, and it's Huzzar hanging on for grim. Chameron, one late lunge, he's beginning to get back at him, and Chameron's going to go and do it. Chameron gets back up on top of the end, and Chameron and Ben Sutton will go and collect. It's Chameron from Huzzar back in second, and Danseur de Large very game, not too far away back in third.
Well, that was good from Chameron. You do wonder if they'd had to jump the last, whether that would have been to his advantage, because clearly some of his jumping wasn't spectacularly good. But he kept on really well, didn't he? Just when it looked as though he might be in a bit of difficulty in the closing stages. Smiling rider on board. And there is Chameron. But I suspect there are one or two to pick out of the race. Banff clearly dropped away early on, but Dancer du Large has run with credit and is going to be interesting in this sphere, and Hazard as well, the long-distance traveller who's come here this afternoon and finished in second place. Dancer du Large in third. Well, as the unsaddling takes place there. And there's the winner closest to the camera. Let's have a look at the closing stages of the race again. This is the Totnes and Bridgetown Races Company Mixed Open. Can we have a look at the closing stages of the race? We'll do that in just a second. But Cameron, here we are.
Are on the inside. They come towards what
so,
is the final fence of it.
Yeah, look at that jumping. So that's letting Hazard back in with a chance as they race in the closing stages. And you'd think he's a length down, isn't he, Chameron? He's going to, and there's a looks as though there's been a stirrup lost as well. But once he gets everything back together again, those of you who were thinking that perhaps Hazard is going to gallop away to win, as we change shots, it's pretty apparent that he's going to come and grab the lead again, Chameron, and that is exactly what he's done. So Chameron our winner and beating Hazard, and Chameron trained by Sam Loxton, who's will confirm the result in full for you in just a few moments' time. And indeed give you news of the next race. But Sam Loxton is here, the trainer of Chameron. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Probably not the end of the world that last fence wasn't there, because some of the jumping had been a bit...
missing 3 jumps, and it was an advantage, yes.
Yeah, because at what turned out to be the last fence, it did look as though the other horse had probably,
Yeah, well, Ben said he lost his stirrup jumping.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
Well, now the last fence, and that's why he couldn't make ground, because he couldn't get a stirrup back. And once he did, the horse took off again.
Yeah. Well, he's a lovely horse to.
Well, he's a top quality horse,
isn't he? Just
his jumping lets him down. So.
And he's ideal for a rider who's sort of who's still learning the ropes and on the
I think Ben realised he has to be extremely positive and all the time, just keep sending him and hope for the best, really.
Yeah.
So, he's a young man's horse.
Yeah, only 4 runners in the race, but it turned out, not the worst 4 runners.
Yeah, well, we weren't really, as I said, he's his own worst enemy, so it didn't really matter what he's up against. So it was how he performed on the day, really. So.
And I'm sure it doesn't concern you, but he was very easy to back in the betting. But he has been beaten a few times, hasn't he, when fancied?
Yeah. He's had a whole line of seconds, That's all been down to his jumping,
So what might he do this season, do you think?
Well, that's up to the Suttons, really.
Yeah.
So I've had to carry on training them. And, ideally go hunter chasing, but he just has to improve a bit,
And what's he like as a character to have around the place?
Oh, it's very easy. It's a very quiet, easy to ride horse. He's a classy horse to have, really.
Absolutely, and it's just that jumping, just to, presumably you do lots of practice, do you?
Sometimes, I don't know, it's mental with him, really, some days he's on it and he jumps lovely, and other days he makes one mistake and then he thinks about it and it seems to let him down, But as I said, with Ben, he just has to be sort of positive
absolutely.
And a bit brave with him all the time.
Lovely to see him and you in the winners. How many have you got for the season?
6. Yeah.
And having quite busy and plenty of fun?
Yeah, it's all actually, we're only just starting. We've had 1 or 2, Chameron and another horse. And we had Verac the other day when we were up at Cheltenham. He gave Olive Nichols her first winner, so that's good. But
Champion trainer pleased with you then?
Yeah, in the good books at the moment.
I hope you stay there. And you're in the Sutton's good books as well.
Yeah,
excellent.
At last.
Well done you anyway.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much indeed to Sam Loxton, successful with Chameron in the mixed open race this afternoon. One or two things to bring you up to date with. The first thing to bring you up to date with is after the restricted, the second race, you'll recall that at the last obstacle, Fountains Chief took a very heavy fall. Delighted to say he's up, he's okay after that tumble, a heavy fall, a tired fall, but excellent to see that. Be good to see, lovely horse Fountains Chief, be good to see him back just staying on his feet for the whole of a race before too long. I'm sure he will be doing that in the near future. So you're up to date with that. The first race of the day, the maiden, was won by His Own Star with Darren Andrews on that one. Odds of 7-2. Stephen Steele successful with Darren Edwards in our second race this afternoon. The captions are following me, so that's just confirmation. And then we've got confirmation of the result in full of the third race, won by number 4 Chameroon, beating number 7 Hazard and number 5 Dancer du Large. Distance is there 5 lengths and 4 lengths, 5 lengths and 4 lengths. Certainly if you'd been betting over the second last, which is the last for the rest of the afternoon, you wouldn't necessarily have expected, I love that shot, wouldn't necessarily have expected Chameron to have held on, but he battled on, jockey got his stirrup back and all was well. As you can see, lovely pictures from Buckfastleigh. We're live on the live stream, courtesy of the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area. We're live at Buckfastleigh, racing on this historic racecourse for the first time in 22 months. So we're delighted to be back. Our next race is coming up as race 4. It's the Jockey Club and Retraining of Racehorses Veteran Conditions race at, that's coming up. Have we got the runners and riders for that to confirm those for you in full? And I can tell you that we'll have them for you in just a few seconds' time. But I'll give you a sneak preview that the runners are 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 16. And we will have confirmation of that for you in a few moments' time.
Now we come to the presentation of our feature race this afternoon, the Totnes and Bridgetown mixed open race. Totnes and Bridgetown Racing Company are fantastic supporters of pointing down here, and also especially at Buckfastleigh. And this open race is very, very well run. We're delighted to welcome Rebecca Welch, who's going to make a presentation to Ben Sutton. Ben's here. He's not only the winning jockey, but his father doesn't know who owns the horse. He's on the way to the USA. So, Ben, many, many congratulations. You've got this wonderful silver challenge trophy. You've got a fantastic hamper from Devon Hamburg. And you've got a lovely bottle of champagne as well from Nigel Pound. So, many congratulations for your win this afternoon.
Yeah. So runners in the paddock and given the order to mount for race 4 here at Buckfastleigh this afternoon. 9 runners for the Jockey Club and Retraining of Racehorses Veteran Conditions Race. This one kindly sponsored by the Jockey Club and ROR. Let's just confirm the runners and riders for this race. Here we are. Number 1 Art of Payroll with Hannah Morgan. Trainer as well. Number 2 Bingo d'Olivet, Jake Baymond, he's got a busy afternoon. Gordon Chambers trains that. 4 Blake Rigg goes, Chloe Emsley. 5 in arrears, that's one of the leading contenders here. Darren Edwards looking for a double, trained by his dad Gordon. 8 Milanese Boy, Conor Houlihan rides in the George Beelby colours. 9 Mr Miyagi, Ella Herbison riding for Laura Jones, her husband. And yeah. So runners in the paddock and given the order to mount for race 4 here at Buckfastleigh this afternoon. 9 runners for the Jockey Club and Retraining of Racehorses Veteran Conditions Race. and this one kindly sponsored by the Jockey Club and ROR. Let's just confirm the runners and riders for this race. Here we are. Number 1 Art of Payroll with Hannah Morgan, trainer as well. Number 2 Bingo D'Olivate, Jake Baymond, he's got a busy afternoon. Gordon Chambers trains that. 4 Blake goes, Chloe Emsley. 5 in arrears, that's one of the leading contenders here. Darren Edwards looking for a double, trained by his dad Gordon. 8 Milanese Boy, Conor Houlihan rides in the George Beelby colours. 9 Mr Miyagi, Ella Herbison riding for Laura Jones, her husband Ben here today as well. 10 Molyneux, Freddie Gingell, trained by Colin Tizard, his grandson on Molyneux, favourite for this one. 11 Phoenix Rock and Josh Barber. Slight change of colour there, red and green colours for Phoenix Rock. And then Michael Trenier rides number 16, Syracuse's Dream. And that one trained by his mum, Deborah Trenier. So those your runners and riders for race 4 at the Modbury Harriers fixture here at Buckfastleigh. And shortly they'll be given the instruction to go to the start. Haven't been given that just yet. Let's look for number 10, Molyneux, which is our favourite. The colours, the yellow colours with the green spots over there. Pretty much in the centre of our picture at the moment. Just walking up there, and lovely to see Molyneux here. 11-year-old by King's Theatre, trained by Colin Tizard. Owns the horse as well, qualified via the Quantock Staghounds. And this horse gave Freddie Gingell, son of Colin's late daughter Kim, a first mount only a few days after he turned 16. That was a novice riders race at Larkhill. They were second, beaten 7 lengths by Monsieur Gibraltar, ridden by Olive Nichols. This horse, Molyneux, won 4 races under rules, 3 of them at Wincanton. Goes well ridden positively, I always think. And that one is the leading contender for this race. The signal for the horses to go to the start has been made, and they're going to be led out onto the track by Blake Rigg and Chloe Emsley. Then Syracuse's Dream for the Treniers. Just looking for Darren Edwards. I think he might well have gone. Some of them did perhaps go to the start just a little bit early. That's Molyneux just making his way out. There we've got Bingo D'Olivate. So a decent sized field of 9 runners for this race. Tell you that number 9, Mr Miyagi, seems to have unseated the rider. The horse is not running loose. There you can see the rider actually just going across the orange and black check colours. Just if we can swing the camera further round to the right, can we? See if we can just... No, we can't at the moment, but they're going to the start is Art of Payroll. Oh, look, there, just a little bit of difficulty being encountered with those around Mr Miyagi, but well held, that man. Made certain that he wasn't, the horse wasn't going to run loose. And clearly Ella Herbison is just about to get the leg up on that one. Ooh. Let's switch cameras. Let's give them a bit of privacy, because they just need to sort that one out. Yeah, that's great. Now, news from the racecourse is this, that we were running, I think, about 15-20 minutes late on the transmission, but that is no longer the case. So I think we're required, are we not, to run a tiny bit late, but certainly not 18 minutes late. I think we were at one stage. That was because of a technical issue earlier on. So we've sorted that. Simon Knott's here to just update us on. I think we've got 2, Simon, that are dominating as far as the betting is concerned, and inevitably, and there'll be much emotion around this one as well. Number 10 Molyneux, very popular.
Yeah, bearing in mind I'm 2 furlongs away, so it might be slightly out of date, but last time I looked, 5-4 favourite Molyneux. Closely pursued in the market by In Arrears, which was bottle 2-1. Milandi's Boy 5-1. Down the card, Arta Payroll 12, Bingo de Olivate 14, Blake Rig 9, In Arrears 2, Milandi's Boy 5, Mr. Maggie, which was kicking up at the start there, 8-1. Molyneux 5, Phoenix Rock 8, and Siccorsi's Dream the outside of the lot 25-1.
Just confirm that Molyneux price.
5-4.
5-4. Sorry, I misheard you for a second. Thanks to Simon, doing sterling work from the betting ring. He's got a brilliant new camera device. So the starting prices for this race, I think, will be returned. Will they not, Simon, from the betting ring? We look forward to that in a few moments' time. Right, horses. Are they all now at the starting point? Can't just see for a second, Mr. Miyagi. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, I think all bar here at the starting point. Well, you're very welcome to this live stream presented by the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area. We are live this afternoon as Mr. Miyagi arrives down at the starting point on the left of your picture, jockey in the orange colours. We are live this afternoon from the historic Buckfastleigh Racecourse in South Devon. They raced here under rules for decades, from the late 19th century until 1960. And point-to-points have been staged here from 1883 to 1960. They raced here under rules. Here's a good quiz question. Name the legendary trainer who had his first winner here, trained his first winner here. And the answer, I won't insult your intelligence. Full war win, of course you knew that. So they raced under rules 1883 to 1960. Then point-to-points here between 1967 and 77. And then since 1998 until 2014 they raced right-handed. But because you can see the cars on the A38 road between Exeter and Plymouth over there, because they run so close to that side of the racecourse, it was considered not very fair on the horses if the cars were coming at them. So they decided to go the other way round, so they race alongside the vehicles now as opposed to towards them if they're seeing the vehicles out of the corner of their eyes. So that is the A38 road, that blue car there, and that sporty looking vehicle is making its way at the moment from Exeter towards Plymouth. And this point-to-point is one of 3 staged here at Buckfastleigh. This is the Modbury Harriers. We'll have the Dart Vale and the South Pool as well. So there'll be another point-to-point in the middle of February and another one in March as well. And at the February one, they have the West Country Champion Chase, sponsored by the Totnes and Bridgetown Races Company, which is invariably an excellent race. Well, this is the Jockey Club and Retraining Racehorses Veteran Horse Conditions Race. Molyneux number 10 for Freddie Gingell, very popular, along with In Arrears and Darren Edwards. Away they go towards fence number 1.
We're going to omit what was the last, the fence right below us on the 3 circuits. So Syracuse Dream setting quite a decent gallop in the early stages under Michael Trenier. He's 3 or 4 clear of the one that went to post very early, In Arrears and Darren Edwards. Leaders already over the second, watching them file over. The back marker in these early stages is Milanese Boy, probably giving the leader 12 or 14 lengths lead in the very early stages. So Syracuse's Dream, In Arrears. Then we've got Molyneux, quite keen for his head, the favourite, in third under Freddie Gingell. Arta Payroll is up on his outside in fourth, another one very keen for his head. They both want to go a stride quicker. Then we've got the orange colours of Ella Herbison on Mr. Miyagi back in fifth, and she's settled on the inside quite nicely. In behind them is Phoenix Rock, travels okay on the turn back towards us now. Then we've got Blake Rig in those yellow and red stripes as they continue on, and then we've got Bingo Dolivati is second from the back over that plain one, all jumping pretty good. And the back marker in the very early stages is Milanese Boy, where he has been from Flagfall. So pace has definitely steadied on the front end and just come back to Syracuse's Dream a bit, but he's still a clear leader, Syracuse's Dream. So continuing up the hill, long way to go as they come back towards us on the inside. In Arrears held on to by Darren Edwards. They bypass that plain fence and go on to the plain fence right in front of the packed crowd here at Buckfastleigh. Molyneux, you can see, just keen for his head under Freddie Gingell, back in third. Then you've got Mr. Miyagi in those orange and black colours on the inside of Arta Payroll. They're travelling in 4 and 5 all over that plain fence well. Blake Rigg then in the stripes just in behind them travels with Phoenix Rock. Then back in the field is Bingo Dolavati, and the back marker continues to be Milanese Boy. So all 9 still running. And downhill they go. In arrears then has nearly gone up to join and match strides with the long-time leader Syracuse's Dream. Ditch, they come to the first time. Better jump by the grey Syracuse's Dream at the front end. In arrears just reaching for it. Is back now half a length back in seconds, but has got the inside track. Molyneux, the favourites, happy to sit in third, settled a bit better. Arta Payroll is up on his outside back in fourth. Following them in those orange colours is Mr. Miyagi in fifth. They jump the plain fence, the first of the line of 3 well. Then follows Blake Rigg back in sixth. Bingo Dolavati's moved into seventh, improved a place or two. And then Phoenix Rock, who got tight to that, has now been overtaken by Milanese Boy. So a bit more pace as they head down the side of the course. Syracuse's Dream still right there on the front end, but is joined in the air and overtaken by Molyneux at the bottom end. So Molyneux, the favourite, just with a fractional advantage over Syracuse's Dream. Arta Payroll is wide on the course and nearly making it a line of 3 there. In arrears then has been just jostled back to fourth, still goes up on the inside and is about 2 to 3 lengths off the lead. They turn the bottom of the course, beginning to get a little bit strung out, and riders beginning to get a little bit lower in the saddle. Still plenty of distance to travel over the next plain one. And Molyneux it is who's gone into quite a clear advantage now over Syracuse's Dream. In arrears continues to travel the shortest way throughout. Mr. Miyagi still very much on the premises also as they continue on. Arta Payroll's just weakened back a bit with Blake Rigg in company. Bingo Dolavati still bang there. They bypass this fence again. And back towards us, in arrears then, having gone the shortest way, joins Molyneux in to join the lead. Syracuse's Dream up wide on the course, back in third, followed by Mr. Miyagi in fourth. Milanese Boys made good progress, now into about fifth with Blake Rigg. Arta Payroll's lost places, and then we've got Bingo Dolavati. Over the next one, Phoenix Rock has been pulled up out the race down the back straight, and it looks like we're going to lose Mr. Miyagi. Also, he's not going out for the final circuit. So 9 have become 7. Downhill towards the ditch for the second and final time. In arrears then. And Darren Edwards, gone the shortest route throughout, joins issue here with Molyneux. They're pressing on over that. Molyneux saw a wonderful stride and jumped it really well. Got a little bit of a lead over in arrears, who's back for more. Syracuse's Dream is weakening now, back in third. Bingo Dolavati's made places and moves through into about third or fourth also. He's one on the move, coming down the back straight. Then Molyneux, arsed up, jumps it well from in arrears. Darren Edwards getting lower in the saddle. Bingo Dolavati for the local trainer. Gordon Edwards moving stylishly through in third. Then Blake Rigg still staying on there in fourth with chance. Milanese Boys back in 5, patiently ridden. Weakening then is Arta Payroll and Syracuse's Dream. You can forget. On the next plane, down to the next plain fence, Molyneux then it is who leads them along by about 2 or 3 lengths over the plain one he is. In arrears is beginning to find it all very, very hard. Bingo Dolavati now comes for pressure back in third, and also for pressure is Blake Rigg in fourth. The favourite in front, Catch Me If You Can, he's about 5 clear and seems to be travelling the best. Also, he's got everything else very, very hard at work. He's got 1 fence to jump, but he's got a long way to travel. Freddie Gingell then sets up for the final fence, comes to it, and he's over safely. He's He's just on to negotiate the hill. In arrears is tied back in second. Bingo Dolavati's there in third and Blake Rigg fourth. But they've both got, all three have got 10 or 12 lengths to catch this leader, Molyneux. He's hard at work on him, but he's long way clear. And it's going to take a lot to catch him now. On the run up the hill, then Molyneux being pushed out. He needs to keep kept up to his work, but nothing is finishing with any relish to trouble him at all. So Molyneux's going to go on and score here for Freddie Gingell, going further clear if anything, and he's going to win. Easiest winner this afternoon so far. Molyneux goes on and scores, wins easy. Blake Rigg staying on back in second for Chloe Emsley. In arrears and Bingo Dolavati will fight out third and fourth. And then Syracuse's Dream looks as though he will finish.
So, an emotional moment here for horse racing generally in the southwest of England. Number 10 Molyneux successful, wins in good style, and this one racing for Freddie Gingell. Freddie's mum Kim, the late daughter of Colin, sister of Joe, and great shots there of a special moment for racing in this part, jump racing in particular in the west of England, and a big response here. So a special moment for the entire family, for the Tizards and for the Gingells. There's Colin. Colin's won great races, as we know, at some of the greatest fixtures, all the greatest fixtures. I'm sure this Sunday afternoon at Buckfastleigh in January 2022 will rate very highly in his special moments. As 16-year-old Freddie wins this race. He had his first mount. He had his birthday on whichever day it was, his 16th birthday, and he was off race riding before you could say Buckfastleigh. And the family gathering around the horse for the photographs. So into the record books goes another generation of, as Joe Tizard coming to, big smile, pat on the arm as well from Joe. And Pauline's there as well, so all in, having photographs taken. And the hero of the hour, Molyneux himself, this 11-year-old by King's Theatre, ran second the other day, didn't he? And has been successful on this occasion. Was second to Olive Nichols on Monsieur Gibraltar the other day. Well, look, that was so good. Great to relive it. So I'm sure they'll relive it many times. There he goes, Molyneux. The second, third and fourth horses all scrapping it out, but the final fence today is being missed out. So a long old way from that final obstacle, coming past the usual final obstacle. Still some way to come for 16-year-old Freddie and Molyneux, but you can see that In Arrears and Blake Rigg and the others are chasing, but it's all in vain now.
And he's going to win. Easiest winner this afternoon.
And it feels like it's been a really good afternoon here, but this has been, as he goes across the finishing line, the absolute high point of it so far. Blake Rigg in second, In Arrears in third, and Bingo Dolavati, or Dolavati, perhaps I should call it, in the 4th position. So that's your first 4 home. I think we can just confirm that result, as we like to do. Molyneux confirmed as the winner with Freddie. Blake Grigg and Chloe Emsley in 2nd. In arrears 3rd. Those distances aren't quite right, because Molyneux clearly won by some distance. I know we're going to get the starting prices from the betting ring in a second. I don't think we've got the cameras working just yet for that, but they will be working very, very shortly. But what happy scenes there for the Tizard family, with Molyneux in the background, young Freddie off to weigh in, and then there'll be presentations, and it's very noticeable how the crowds have gathered round. They know the emotion of this moment. Freddie's mum, the late Kim, being such a familiar figure across jump racing as a whole, but particularly across the southwest of England, this sort of heartland of point-to-point racing. And the Tizards, such a good illustration of what jump racing is all about, and indeed point-to-pointing is all about. And I'm delighted to say that the winning rider, Freddie, is joining us now. Just so many congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Just put it into words how good that must feel, how poignant that must feel.
It was amazing. Being sat on a horse like him is even better, really. He helped me at every fence, and he was amazing.
Yeah, and long running, isn't it? With no final.
Really long.
So did that must have seemed like an age?
Yeah, it did really. I jumped the last, and I thought that it would come quick, but it come really long. And
yeah.
Luckily, I had a horse like still like with loads left running, so he was really good.
And just sense of the excitement of it's not you do lots of good things, but to win a horse race like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's my 2nd ride, so yeah, really proud, really.
How many days was it from your 16th birthday to your first ride? Barely a week, was it?
It was a week, I think. My birthday's on the 21st of December. I had my first ride 2 weeks ago, so it's 10 days, if that, really.
And for the family, obviously a really, really important moment as well.
Yeah, it was. I lost my mum 2 years ago, and she was always wanting me to do my best sort of thing, and I won the day, so she's probably looking down on me, sending all of her luck.
Well, look, so many congratulations from all of us. That was just really lovely to see.
Thank you.
Great to see. Well done to Freddie Gingell. Well done to the Tizard family as well. Successful with that winner of the Jockey Club and Retraining of Racehorses Veteran Horse Conditions Race. Success for Molyneux. We'll get a starting price for you in a few moments' time. We've got lots to catch up on. We've got some starting prices to give you in just a second, but Molyneux won't have been a very fancy starting price. We'll have the runners shortly for the big field, which is lining up for our next race here at Buckfastleigh this afternoon. I think before we talk about the runners for the next, though, we've got a couple of tweets that we can bring you news of. Right, Azuri winning at Harry Skelton, champion jockey, tweets Azuri wins for Nick Pearce at the Higham point-to-point, and gives a first success for Heidi, who works for Dan Skelton. So our first success here at Buckfastleigh. You've just heard for Freddie, first success for Heidi at Higham point-to-point. So congratulations, and Nick Pearce, who is himself a clerk of the course, excellent trainer too, having a winner there. And here's Nicholas Child, who's in Hong Kong. Nicholas says, in my opinion, Darren Edwards is one of the best point-to-point riders out there, never to be champion yet. Great ride in the restricted #Go pointing, and great to have Nick following, who's himself grown up in this type of world in the southwest of England, but now having a very successful time. It used to be in Singapore, I think, now in Hong Kong. Great to see him following the action from Buckfastleigh this afternoon. So various people are crowding in on the winners' enclosure to see Freddie and to see the Tizards receive their trophies after that race. I think that's all the horses now sorted out. So a special moment, as on only his second mount in the Jockey Club and Retraining of Racehorses Veteran Conditions Race, 16-year-old Freddie Gingell is successful on Molyneux, and as Freddie himself said, lost his mother or so a couple of years ago. What a special moment it is for him and for his family, and saying that perhaps Kim looking down and just giving a helping hand. Lovely, lovely story. Horse racing sport generally so often throws up a story of this sort. It's poignant, it's sad, but it's a celebration of what Fred is achieving as well, which is absolutely fabulous. At the Modbury Harriers point-to-point this afternoon. We need some starting prices, so we can get those, I think, via this fantastic camera in the betting ring from Simon.
Okay, Molyneux there, that was the hot favourite, return 5-4. Second, Blake Rigg was 1-4-14 to 1, would have done the bookies a favour, but was miles back. And the best back horse against the favourite was in arrears, return 7-4, but unfortunately out with a wash. And the bookies have done their cobblers there.
Thank you, Simon. 5-4 favourite then, Molyneux, our most recent winner at Buckfastleigh this afternoon, and various presentations going ahead now. Right, our next race is the Total Cottages 7-year-olds and over maiden race, and this race has got a big field, and hopefully we can give you news of the runners and riders for this next race, which is scheduled to go off. It's 2:30 on the racecourse. It'll be a little bit later than that for those of you following from home. I think we need 2 pages for this one. So the 7-year-old and over maiden race, supported by Total Cottages, and our thanks to Total Cottages for this race as the presentations take place behind me. So these are runners. Number 1, all about the memories. There'll be lots of happy memories of here today. I'll tell you what, let's just leave the runners and riders, if we may, for a second, see if we can get that camera back on the winners' enclosure, because these are very happy scenes as the Tizard family there receive their trophy. You can see Colin there, the winning owner trainer, being filmed for posterity there, and by West Country Videos, and champagne for the winning rider. He's 16. Is he allowed champagne? I'm not sure if he entirely is, but anyway, it's a good prize for him. Right, let's go back to the runners and riders for the next race. Sorry about that slight interlude, but I just wanted to give you an idea of just what happy scenes there are here today, and lots of people packed around the winners' enclosure. So for this race, next race, race 5, number 1 goes Pippa Glanville, all about the memories. 2, Aunt Lily, Fly McIntyre. 5 runs, that's Da Vinci Rock, Will Knight. 7, Festin de Soir, Aaron Butterfield, going really well, Aaron, at the moment. That Footloose is proving a good horse. Festin du Soir rides that for Tracy Williams. 8 for De Marlborough for Josh Newman. Then we've got number 9, Ferrari Land. Now this is a long distance traveller. Annabelle Murphy, used to be Annabelle King, you'll recall, training successfully, has sent this one down from Warwickshire. Ferrari Land is ridden by Solly Wood. Then we have Gunner Vic with Vinnie Webster, that's number 10. Number 11 runs Henry's Regime, Merv Woodward. 12 is Honest Opinion, that one Darren Edwards. 13 Jackie Daniels with Ida Thorne. 14 Jeremy Central, Will Biddick. 15 Tommy O'Brien with Jimmy Chew. We'll be talking in just a second to Colin Tizard, the winning owner-trainer after that. And if I can use that famous phrase, over the page. 16 Piley Court runs with Conor Houlihan. 17 Riding Shotgun, must have a big chance, Natalie Parker. 19 Same Opinion runs with Darren Andrews, and 20 is Tristan Degain with Chloe Emsley. So those are the runners and riders for our next race, as I bring in and say good afternoon and congratulations to the winning owner-trainer of our last race. You'll recognise him straight away. It's Colin Tizard's here. Well done.
Yeah, that
really was marvellous.
Yeah, well, Fred's been waiting for this for a long time. He's been pony racing and doing everything else, and
It's absolutely, it's all fun, isn't it? There's no pressure on us at all, really. Whatever happens, as long as he came back in one piece, we can go again. And absolutely brilliant.
He just came on a minute ago. That run from the second last, which is the last today, he said it felt like an age. It must have felt like an age to you.
Yeah, well, the rest weren't going. We could see what the rest were doing behind, so I don't think there was any danger. But that was just lovely. Yeah, point to point is fantastic. You know, Fred. We said to Fred, does he know about a sharp bend at the bottom? He said, well, he's rode round her 3 times on pony racing, so that is prepared him is given the confidence to ride properly straight away.
Yeah, and he's 16 years old. He's only having his second ride. That, admittedly, he's done his pony racing. He looked very polished.
Well, yeah, but he's got a lovely horse to ride as well. He's not. Yeah. The horse is quite nice, but he is an 11-year-old now, isn't he? So. He's just found his right niche, actually.
Yeah. For the family, that must be just so. And he talked about imagining Kim looking down and helping him on. Must have been so special for all of you.
Yeah, I just even think it's sad because Kim would have loved to have been here, actually. But we deal with these things in life, and this is to be enjoyed today because it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, and you're right. It's celebrate. He's doing amazingly well, isn't he?
That's lovely. He's got the right horse. Horse is in good form.
Yeah.
And he rode it well. So there's what more can you say?
And I was just saying, Colin, you've won big races at Cheltenham, at Aintree, all these other places, and Joe's ridden you some lovely horses as well. But Buckfastleigh this Sunday afternoon must go down as a very special afternoon.
It was a grandson. You're always a bit grandchildren are always that much more special, aren't they? It's absolutely brilliant for Fred, and what more can I say? It's absolutely beautiful.
And I've seen him following you around, seeing him following you around at Cheltenham years ago. It seems like now, and now here he is, you legging him up and sending him to the start.
He's been waiting for this day for a long time. It's not that he's been racing. That's all we think about really is racing. Definitely he does anyways. Racing's everything for him. That's what he wants to be, a jockey. He's the right size, and he's for him to make it now.
Yeah, so what's he going to be like as a jockey?
The trick is getting on the best horse, man.
Yeah.
That is always has been the case. And,
being your grandson then's no bad thing.
Well, whatever he does, he finishes school in May, so he might stay with us, or he might go somewhere else for a year or two.
But you can see him turning professional before too long, and hopefully making his mark.
This is the start, isn't it? He's the right shape and size. And that's what he wants to do. He's just got to, he's got to start riding other horses. This is a lovely schoolmaster. Now that's done, he can ride some not quite so easy.
And final thought, Colin. It always strikes me that you were farmers once. You went into racing, so you're a perfect illustration of. Once upon a time you were running horses at Buckfastleigh, now you're running your best horses at Cheltenham. So your story is the story of what National Hunt racing in Britain to a large extent is all about.
Yeah, we definitely were farmers when I was 17 to I was 20. I didn't ride a winner. We used to milk the cows, and if we were busy with the cows, we didn't ride the horses that day. But when Joe started, we thought we need to do this a bit more better. Otherwise, it is a costly waste of money, really. So that moved us up a gear or two. Fred's benefiting from it now, actually, isn't he?
Yeah, excellent. Well, look, many congratulations. So you will have noticed how many people are so chuffed for all of you today.
Absolutely lovely. Thanks very much.
Excellent, super, lovely to see you. Colin Tizard. Oh, Colin, before you go, come back. I've got one more thing to say to you very quickly, and that is you very kindly supported the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point areas Christmas raffle, auction, not raffle, auction. Thank you so much for doing that, because it raised plenty of money, and I think you supported us with one of the lots. So important to raise the money at the grassroots level, isn't it?
Yes, if it's a morning on the gallops, we enjoy people coming out there to see as much as they enjoy coming, so it's lovely, but thanks very much.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Thanks to Colin. Nearly forgot to thank him for being part of the Devon and Cornwall area Christmas auction. So really pleased that he was able to help that, and really pleased that he and Freddie and the family have won that significant prize here this afternoon at Buckfastleigh. So we've got runners in the paddock. Have we got the paddock big enough to take all the runners for our next race? But let's see if we can have a look at some of these and get an idea about I'll tell you what, the one I really like is called Riding Shotgun, number 17. As you can see, plenty of runners in this one. I did count them all up. What have we got? 16 or 17, haven't we? 16 in this race. Just going through the picture there. Number 7, the grey horse, is Festin de Soie. Said how Aaron Butterfield was going really well at the moment, which has been lovely to see. We'll get some news hopefully from the betting ring in just a second as well. But this one, race 5, the total cottages, maiden for 7 years old and upwards. Yeah, I just need to confirm a couple of bits of jockey news here. That is number 2, Aunt Lily, is Martin McIntyre. Number 8, I don't think that had a rider, but that's Josh Newman, who's on board that one. Then number 15, Jimmy Chew, Tommy O'Brien on board that. 16, Piley Court, Connor Houlihan. Sorry, Connor. Connor Houlihan is on Piley Court. Riding Shotgun, ridden by Natalie Parker. I think some of these didn't have riders advertised. Right, we can get an update from the betting ring, I think, and Simon.
Mike, Colin Tizard's been interviewed up there, over the moon about the last winner. Are you feeling as joyful?
No, I laid 2 to 1 at side.
To do your money?
Got me money. There's nothing, a bit like our fridge, there's nothing in it at the moment, with 2 to go.
It'll get better.
That's a great shot, isn't it? Lots of horses in the paddock, lots of people around the paddock wanting to have a good look at the contenders for race 5 at Buckfastleigh this afternoon. And the news from the betting ring as well, so lots of horses to choose from. That one there being led up partly by Ben Jones, professional jump jockey. That's the one I like, Riding Shotgun. Number 17. Tell you why I like this, Riding Shotgun. Went all the way to West Wales for a 2 miles 5 furlong maiden race in November and fell at the 4th last, but was very much in the hunt at the time. All 3 runs last season were creditable, including 4th in a decent race at Maysmore and a 3rd place at Upcut as well. And I have a feeling that Riding Shotgun run very well this afternoon. So let's see if we can find Jeremy Central, Will Biddick's man. This is number 14 we're looking for. Owned by Tom Malone. And Tom, as we know, does pretty well in this type of race. So just looking for the colours to look out for are the yellow with the green hoop. So going through there is, that's Piley Court going through. Here just going through is Aunt Lily, number 2.
Number 2, Aunt Lily.
Aunt Lily is the best turned out here. Grey horse going through there is Da Vinci Rock. Festin de Soie behind, number 9, Friary Land. That's the Annabelle Murphy contender. Looks an interesting one to have come from. Number 19 just went through there. I don't know if we can just pick up number 19 again, same opinion. That one's proving quite popular in the betting ring. Right, so Jeremy Central is just being held up. He's just at the start of this side. I don't know if we can swing the camera slightly back to see where there's Will Biddick, his rider, going through. So Jeremy Central is number 15, and I think that's him just going through there. If we can stick with number 15, he'll go sideways on in a second. Jeremy Central is an 8-year-old by Jeremy, you'll be surprised to hear. Tom Malone owns and trains, qualified via the Tiverton Foxhounds. Plenty of experience, having run, I think it's 10 times in Ireland. one bumper and a whole lot of point-to-points. 6 seconds in point-to-points most recently at Boris House, County Carlow in December, when didn't recover from an error at the last when in the lead. Has sort of held the advantage, this horse. It's number 14 we're watching, Jeremy Central. That basically this paddock is so crowded, so many people trying to have a look at these horses, and so we're almost losing them in the. That's Jimmy Chew just coming through. There's the Malone horse, and this Jeremy Central.
There was a steward's inquiry regarding
just hearing of a steward's inquiry in the last race, which will be announced in full, I think, in just a second. But that Jeremy Central, I just wonder, he's been second an awful lot of times. He's popular in the betting, but look at all those twos in his betting, and he was going to play a big part when making that error at the last time at Boris House. But with his credentials of the rider and the owner-trainer, inevitably he's pretty popular. And we'll have a look in a second at Same Opinion, number 19, who's quite popular as well.
It's regarding the jockey, Jay Damon. He failed to weigh in and was placed fourth. The jockey was fined £40 and the horse was being disqualified.
Right. So there was in one of the previous races, I think it sounded like I think it was the most recent race, wasn't it, that Jake Bayman didn't weigh in. He's been fined £40, and it doesn't actually matter in terms of disqualification, but he has been disqualified. So that, just a little bit of news from the stewards' room here. Just going through our picture. Let's stick with that one, number 19, Same Opinion. 7-year-old by Flemonsfirth, trained by Stuart Sampson, for Mr. Hamlin and Mr. Gardner. Good supporters in these parts. Qualified via the Eggersford Hunt. Very interesting contender. A couple of standout bits of form. One of them third place at Wadebridge in a race won by Evron with Transition Period, a winner since second. And the other interesting thing about this guy, Same Opinion, would probably have played a part in a maiden race at Maysmore, won by the Player Queen, but for unseating his rider at the second last. And the Player Queen that won the race has won a bumper and a maiden hurdle since. So, Same Opinion of interest. They're streaming off, all 16 of them. Commentator Chris Clapham is. I know what I've known this to happen to me in the past. You get a couple of smaller fields, and then you just you're at a point and you get to a later race, and suddenly you've got 16 to try and sort out. So he won't have been coming down for a burger in between races, Chris, ahead of this one. Plenty of runners. I wonder if Simon's here. Has he got? I think he's got an update. Simon Knott, who's been doing a great job from the betting ring this afternoon. So what's the sort of characteristic? I'll tell you what. Just a quick footnote on number 14. It's such a popular choice, Jeremy Central. He looks fantastic. What sort of price is Jeremy Central?
Jeremy Central, last time I was down there was 2-1 favourite, Honest Of being the 5-2 second in. The bookmakers, they've got no idea really. You walk up and down the line, there's totally different prices for different horses apart from the short ones. A rough guide about all the memories, 33, Aunt Lily 10, Da Vinci Rock 20, Festin Sur 8, Fool de Mallarou is 8-1, Fairyland 9-1, Gunnovic 33, Henry's Regime 25, 5-2 Honest Of, 33 Jackie Dan, 2 Jeremy Central, 8 Jimmy Chew, 14 Piley Court, 5-1 Riding Shotgun, 10-1 Same Opinion, and 12-1 Tristan de Gamba. That's really just a guide. They're all over the place. They're not used to so many runners to try and price up.
I don't think anyone is, are they? No. So, but we're pretty solid.
They're doing all right down there. There's plenty of business, even if it's relatively small.
I'll tell you what, if I was a bookmaker, seeing Jeremy Central with quite a lot of 2s next to his name, I wouldn't go mad about him, but he looks great.
I was only down there for 2 minutes and got 2 tips, and it's one of those races.
Excellent. Well, let's have a look at them down at the start. And that is there. You see, look at it, isn't he? A lovely big horse, Jeremy Central, just on he's the extreme left of the horses down there. The other one, this Honest Of, is another popular one. Number 12, Honest Of, jockey in the purple colours with the yellow stars. I think he's been called 2 different names, or Honest Opinion, because the race card is actually not called, and I think I'm right in saying there is a Same Opinion and an Honest Opinion in the race card. But so a little bit of confusion, but Honest Opinion, number 12, is the one that appears in the race card as Honest Of. Don't know if I'm being completely stupid here or whatever, but this Honest Opinion's the mare with the pretty interesting form. Ran another solid race when 3rd at Weybridge before Christmas, Honest Opinion. Honest Opinion is the horse, as far as I can see, number 12, purple, yellow stars. And then we've got Same Opinion, that's number 19, which is purple, yellow stars. So we've got 2 horses with similar colours and similar names, and all in all, we'll get Chris to sort this out for us in just a few seconds' time. But there, right in the centre of your picture, is Jeremy Central. It's going through in front is Henry's Regime. Aunt Lily, number 2, was adjudged the best turned out horse for this race. This is race 5 of the 7 here this afternoon. Earlier on in the day, the Open Maiden went to His Own Star at 7-2. Then we had Fountain's Chief falling at the last, and Stephen Steele successful at odds of 2-1 in the restricted race. Great news that Fountain's Chief was fine after that. Well, it was a tired fall as opposed to anything else. Then Chameron successful in the mixed open, and race 4. Well, there was a lot of delight that Molyneux for the Tizard family and Freddie Gingell have been successful there. Right, the starters on his rostrum. We're ready to go for this one. It's race 5 this afternoon, and as flags are raised, Chris Clapham is going to sort this one out for us. But the yellow and the green colours pretty prominent there. Will Biddick on this big fancy Jeremy Central. Here we go.
And he's let them go. So Jimmy Chu got a good lead to the walls of first. So 16 of them, 16 fences, remember. And Jimmy Chu is one of those first ones to show. Just watching them all file over, and they're all over it safely. And rocking on now is Jackie Dan. Jackie Dan and Ida Thor just now got the fractional advantage. All About the Memories is close in second, filing over that plain one. Again, the grey 2 greys in this race. Riding Shotgun was a little bit slow through it, and mid-division just lost a few places as they continue on. Jackie Dan then leads them over it, and the fair pace being set. Slow jump in arrears there was by Aunt Lily, and has relegated her to back into second last. So settling down then, Ida Thor it is on Jackie Dan. All About the Memories then is back in second. Then we've got another one of the greys there, Festin du Soir, is up on his heels in third. Same Opinion then going the shortest way is back in 4. Wide then back behind him is Tristan Degain in 5. Over the plain one, just watching them file over. Fairly strung out already in the early stages, about 25 lengths between first and last. Back in the field is the next grey, which is Riding Shotgun in mid-division. Riding Shotgun is on the back end of the main group in these very early stages. Festin du Soir is about 5th or 6th. So continuing on, up the hill they come. And out front, Jackie Dan it is, who leads them along from the grey Da Vinci Rock up on the wide outside of All About the Memories. Same Opinion 4. Then we've got Festin du Soir, the other grey of the race. Back in the field then is Tristan Degain, quite handy to the lead. He's travelling on the wide outside of runners. Jimmy Chu has been relegated back through the field into about mid-division also. Then we've got Gunnar Vic also stuck in that mid-division. He's travelling very much on the inside of runners. Jeremy Central, Will Biddick, he is mid-division in the early stages. Can't spot him with those yellow and green colours. That's all the early runners. Then Friary Land is back just behind him. Then we've got Merv Woodward's Mount Henry Regime just in behind him. They're at the ditch for the first time. These maidens all over it safely. Yes, they are. Back in the field then is Honest Of, who's going the shortest way up the inside, and they continue way on through the field. As they continue down the back straight then, and Jackie Dan it is, just steps into it, over in front of the grey then, Da Vinci Rock. Then Honest Of, who's back in third on the inside. So Da Vinci Rock is back in second. Honest Of is third. Then Tristan Degain is now into a clear fourth. Then we have the other grey, Festin du Soir, in 5. Following them through, just on his outside is Gunnar Vic in 6th. Towards the next one, they've set a pretty strong gallop here. They're going to be very, very strung out in the latter stages of this one for certain. Will Biddick on Jeremy Central is on the move up on the outside, just picking off a few runners as he makes his way. Friary Land still no better than mid-division in these early stages. Foda Malbro, he's in about 10th 11th in this stage on his own, racing at the moment, followed by Henry's Regime. Back in the field then is the purple colours of Same Opinion. He's in about 12th or 13th. All About the Memories has been pulled up, so we're down to 15. No better than last is Riding Shotgun for Natalie Parker, and she is now a good 25 lengths off the leader. As they continue on then, and don't forget, they're going to miss this fence as they begin to hit the rising ground. So Jackie Dan, who has set out to make all here, is still out in front, freewheeling it. Honest Of then on the inside in the purple colours of the grey Da Vinci Rock. They are 2 and 3. One that's made nice ground then is Honest Vic into a clear 4th. Jeremy Central then leads the charge in behind them with Tristan Degain to one side. On Jimmy Chu the other. They're a line of 3. Next plain fence they come to. Leader hit it hard. Good sit there by the leader. And out the side door nearly is Piley caught. It's been out by the back all the way, and a really good sit there by Connor Houlihan, but it's probably lost all chance now. Down the hill, Aunt Lily's way out the back, also with Riding Shotgun. Another one right out the back with Foda Malbro. Down the hill then, getting to the business end, and this is the ditch. And being sent on about a business is Da Vinci Rock out front now. Da Vinci Rock with that pink cap leading the way. Honest Of is now moved into a clear second. Loose horse there. We've lost the leader at the ditch, I'm afraid. The long-time leader, Jackie Dan, out the race. So the Greys set sail for home. And it is Da Vinci Rock clear by 6 or 7 here, really pressing on very early to do it. Honest Of clear second. They're getting strung out. Honest Vic back in third. No panic here from Biddick on Jeremy Central. He's now just picking them off. He's moved into third, arsed up for that one. Tristan again weakening. Friary lands back in the field, trying to see who's moving through. Horses, just a few trying to get through on the outside of runners. As they continue off then, and still the grey sets a tremendous pace here in front. Da Vinci Rock, he's got a long way still to travel. 4, 5, 6 lengths clear here. Back in the field then is still Honest Of, trying to give plenty back in second. Jeremy Central slowly moving into the race now. The Piley Court, who made that horrendous blunder early on, nearly a circuit ago, is the one who stayed on back in fourth then. And then Friary Land is fifth. I think you can pretty much forget the rest. Over that one, the grey still holds sway, but Honest Of and Darren Edward is now piling it on the outside. They're nearly a line of 3. Jeremy Central up the inside, and Jeremy Central now and Honest Of, these two with the real improver Piley Court trying to make it a line of 3 as they continue up the hill. Friary Land still trying to stay on. Plenty of chances still. Jeremy Central then on the inside of Honest Of. These two have got it pretty much between them as they race towards the judge now. And it's Biddick looking for his first win of the afternoon, and he's going to get it. Jeremy Central from Honest Of still trying to stay on his Piley Court. The big mistake cost him, and it's Biddick who's going to land it. Jeremy Central wins. Good race for second. We'll let the judge sort them out. Honest Of and Piley Court. Staying on really well was Friary Land. The one that went for home early, Da Vinci Rock, finished back 5th. And that's...
So, there's your winner, number 14, Jeremy Central. Just wait for the judge to confirm the second and third. Now, here's the confusion that arose. Number 12 on the race card is called on the point-to-point website and in real life Honest Opinion. But the race card has called it Honest Of, and the commentator has called it Honest Of as well. So that, if you were confused, as you may have noticed, I got confused beforehand. Not least because there was another horse called something else Opinion, same opinion. But there's no doubt about the winner, Jeremy. What a good name as well, Jeremy Central. By Jeremy. And that is confirmed as the winner, Will Biddick. Another success for Will. So that, and we're just waiting for the judge to confirm second and third between number 12 on the race card here at Buckfastleigh is Honest Of, but I think that's called Honest Opinion. There's Tom Malone, the winning owner-trainer, just throwing water over the winner after his exertions, and also involved in that pretty tight finish for second and third was Piley Court. But no doubt about our winner, Jeremy Central, and there'll be a lot of there seems to be a lot of pleasure there in the camp. Bit of water now being, oh no, maybe fancy something a bit stronger. Well, you're going to have it over you instead, Jeremy. And Jeremy he travelled beautifully, didn't he? Lovely looking type of horse. We'll hear from Tom Malone in a second, no doubt. The horse is for sale. And last time we spoke to him, the horse he sold is a winner over hurdles since, that he won a maiden with. He then sold and is a winner over hurdles since. But yeah, this guy looked great, lovely type, and travelled beautifully down alongside the A38 on the final circuit. And well, let's have a look at the replay. We can do that right now. There we are. So Jeremy is in the green and yellow colours. In third, Da Vinci Rock. Some of his jumping had been a bit hairy in front there. But so honest opinion, although referred to on the racetrack as honest of, was in front there, but Darren Edwards is working hard, isn't he? And that's where Jeremy Central, they've still got to go past the final fence, which isn't being jumped here at Buckfastleigh today. So that run in from the second last, currently the last, is a real long one. And Jeremy Central is having to be driven out by Will Biddick, but the runner-up is never quite going to get there. And then Honest Opinion finishing in second place. Here's the winning trainer, owner trainer. Jeremy Central. God, he's a beautiful looking horse, isn't he?
Yeah.
And nice to get a 1 next to his name after a lot of 2s.
Yeah, well, to be fair to the poor horse, it wasn't his fault. He was in an online sale in December, and before I bought him in the online sale, I picked this race out because it was a 7-year-old and up maiden, and he should have won his last 2. He shouldn't have been in the race as such. But he's a lovely old-fashioned staying chaser. That's what he is. No frills about him, but he just gets the job done.
Yeah, and good looking.
Oh, he's a beautiful looking horse.
And especially he stood out in that field, didn't he? And then travelled beautifully down alongside the dual carriageway on the final circuit. And then Biddick did have to say,
oh, definitely. Well, I told Will, I said, if they go a gallop here, don't get involved in it, because he may be a slow horse, but the easiest way to get a slow horse burnt is to go too fast.
Right.
And yeah, he had to hold his hand up the straight, but he's got the job done.
And he's very experienced, hasn't he? Because he had a lot of runs in Ireland.
Yeah, he had 10 runs.
I'm going to be rude because he's disproved what I'm about to say, but I thought slightly in Ireland that as soon as something came to him, he threw in the towel. But
the only thing I would say to that is I'd watched every run before I bought him, and he was going to win his last race, and he got in close to the last and shot the kid up into the air. He lost his 2 irons.
No, well, that was fair enough.
And the day before that, he done everything right and got nutted on the line. He didn't do anything wrong. No. Just bad luck not to have won for them. So just our fortune.
Oh, well done. No, last time we chatted was at Wadebridge, and you won with Escape and Evade, which was didn't win yesterday, but he won at Ayr the other day.
Up at Ayr 2 weeks ago. James Ewart, they bought him that night off Snapchat.
Off Snapchat?
Well, I was putting videos of him up, and she said, I love him, and then the whole thing took off from there.
Really?
Absolutely. And
so I know people do all sorts of things on Snapchat, but I've never heard about them buying and selling horses.
Well, we use it for only one reason.
Yeah. Well, that's a big relief. So this one hopefully can do the same
thing. He's a lovely staying handicap chaser. That's what he is. To a level. He's nice and sound, and he jumps and he gallops, and he loves soft ground, so he'll win his races.
Thanks to the lady who's just walked across the camera twice. And you've got the family here today.
This is Darcy.
Hi, Darcy. How are you? Are you enjoying it?
She's loving it. Loving her day out.
And, Dad, a good bloodstock agent?
Oh. Question mark. Question. Can do better, she says.
Yeah, can do better. Absolutely. Well, look, well done with this one, and we'll have something for some of the upcoming meetings. A few more
we'll have in a month's time. We have another couple to go to war with. A couple of young bumper horses as well that are shaping up very nicely.
Good.
At the minute.
Excellent. Well,
Brilliant.
well done. Well
thanks
done.
very much.
Well, thanks very much indeed to Tom Malone, and thanks to the lady who walked across the camera not just once but twice there. But I hope she didn't spoil your enjoyment of the Malone family outing this afternoon and their success with Jeremy Central and that Escape and Evade that won at Wadebridge, sold, what did he say, via Snapchat. Good gracious. I've heard all sorts of things happen on Snapchat, but never heard of that before. But that's another one to add to the list. We will be confirming the result with starting prices on that one very shortly, but we've got one more race to come. And that is the 6th race of the afternoon, the Exeter Racecourse Intermediate race. Exeter Racecourse is represented here at Buckfastleigh this afternoon. I want to have a word in a second, hopefully with the clerk of the course from there, Dan Cooper. But first of all, I think we have got the confirmation of the runners and riders for our final race of the afternoon, and here they are. Cottage Rose. Qualified with the South Tatcut, John Hurd. Number 1 Cottage Rose with Darren Andrews. 2 Dancing Dave. Remember Dancing Dave winning a race last year at Bratton Down. Chloe Emsley riding Dancing Dave today. 3 Druid Spitfire, Anna Johnston. That one trained by Rob Channin. 7 is Hotel du Nord, Charlie Sprate riding Hotel du Nord. That one trained by Will Biddick, so he rode the last winner. He's just getting a trophy at the moment, and he trains Hotel du Nord in this next one. 8 Minimalist with Josh Newman riding for Susan Dark. 9 Party Tunes, Darren Edwards riding for Dean Summersby. 10, another of these Raiders from afar, number 10 Racing Snake, trained by Clive Bolte Brooks. Tommy O'Brien rides that one. And 11 is Rianne de Two. Will Biddick rides Rianne de Two, ridden by Charlotte Budd, née Brew, of Aintree fame back in the 1970s. This the Exeter Racecourse Intermediate qualifier race, race 6 at the Modbury Harriers fixture here at Buckfastleigh this afternoon. And there you can see on the left of your picture, Will Biddick and Tom Malone are giving the media here at Buckfastleigh their thoughts on that success. Jerry Supple in the centre of your picture there, good rider of yesteryear, good point-to-point trainer as well on occasions. Good to see him here today as well. And a reminder that there is more racing at Buckfastleigh in the middle of February. I think it's the 13th, isn't it? That's a Sunday in the middle of February. Yeah, there'll be another one, and then there's another one in March. So there's always a month or so to recover each time. So, happy scenes as debriefs take place after that last race. And apologies for the confusion. I'm disinclined to blame anyone for the confusion, but I knew that number 12 was called Honest Opinion, but it did appear in the race card as Honest Of, and then Honest Of rather got traction. The commentator called it Honest Of. I think our caption person called it Honest Of, and that's the horse that eventually. Have we actually confirmed the result in full of that last race? Can we just confirm that last result in full, because there was a little bit of just having to sort it out. Yeah, Honest Opinion confirmed as the second, and Piley Court in third place. So that's just confirmation of that last race here today, race 5 this afternoon. Race 6, it's nearly over. It's been such an enjoyable day. First point-to-point racing at Buckfastleigh for 22 months. Delighted that we were back today, and as hopefully you've got the general idea during the afternoon, plenty of people here to see some excellent sport. And the final bit of excellent sport of the afternoon, the Exeter Racecourse Intermediate race, scheduled for 3:05, though you will be seeing it a few minutes later than that on this transmission from the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area. And I'm delighted to say that Dan Cooper from Exeter Racecourse, Clerk of the Course at Exeter, is able to join us here this afternoon. Hello, nice to see you.
Yeah, and to
isn't
you.
It a great afternoon out?
Yeah, I think they're doing better for crowds than us, to be honest.
I'm sure. Good. I'm sure you're both doing brilliantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There is a one coming up. I don't know whether there's one where there's racing at Exeter and a point-to-point on the same day.
There is. I'll have to make my mind up which one I do go to. But,
but maybe it's one to have a word with the Jockey Club or a word with the point-to-point authority to stop that kind of clash. Anyway, that's by the by. But thank you for your support with the race coming up, the intermediate race, which culminates in a final. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So there's about 8 qualifiers. Today's the second one in the series. So Devon and Cornwall are good enough to stage the intermediate series for us. This could be year 25, I think, of our final. And it's quite simple: run in the race, and then you qualify for the final up on Holden Hill.
And that takes place.
That's 14th of April.
Right.
So mid sort of April, we'll probably be good ground then, maybe on the quicker side than that.
Yeah.
But it's
a good part of the calendar in Devon and Cornwall.
Yeah, we run three hunter chases, and I love that they're not just open races like at other courses. You can just be quite boring in doing that. So we've got a novice race as well, and the intermediate just adds a bit of class to it and connects the two sports together, really. And
Totnes Bridgetown Races Company, big supporters of that.
They are, yeah. They'll sponsor certainly 2, if not all 3 hunter hunter chasers at Exeter. They're a big sponsor of ours, and it's good to be able to support. We've gone £4,000 as well on prize money, so it's good to keep encouraging these races just to have that link up.
And what's the thought? You come to Buckfastleigh, and this is great today, and this feels like grassroots stuff. It's what it's all about. Old sentimentalists like me love it. Do racecourses like hunter chases and like the side of it where it all started?
Oh, absolutely. So
the support is still strong.
The support's strong. There's a big part of our sort of, I would say, trend to move away from it. The trend of racing per se is moving away, and people like me and directors at the racecourse probably do have to work harder than normal races to say, no, let's stage the hunter chase.
But the Jockey Club listens to you, does it?
They do. They're good enough. We actually did a review in 2019 on the relevance of hunter chases to our racecourses, and it came out with mixed messages. One of those messages was people like me have to come to points. We have to promote our hunter chase. I'm actually giving every participant in our race today a qualification letter. So just to say that because you've run in this race today, you can come up to our final. Right. So we're sort of throwing it in their minds, really, that don't forget to come and support the hunter chase. So the question's relevant. They're certainly not safe forever. They do need work.
But having said that, in terms of the Jockey Club, the Cheltenham race, hunter chase, and the Aintree Fox Hunters race, and indeed other hunter chases at Exeter and Huntingdon, all sorts of places, they still happen.
They still happen.
And the Cheltenham Hunter Chase evening is a big night.
Yeah, they do, and we all love a balanced race programme. It's good to have a bit of difference. Sometimes it's too easy to put in a class 4 or 5 handicap hurdle. It's nice to be a bit different. I love them, and to put a grand more prize money to make them £4,000 now. That's £24,000 between Exeter and Wincanton in prize money for hunter chases. I think that's great. That's a good message.
And after your day here at Buckfastleigh, will you go back, ring the top brass and say, you all ought to come to Buckfastleigh, or if you can't come to Buckfastleigh, then go to Chipley or wherever in the weeks ahead?
Why not? Yeah, Tiverton.
Or watch the live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I think it's a good job. But no, it's good. It's good to be here. Good to support, and I think everyone's doing a great job to keep the days on.
Lovely to see you, and thank you for your support with the intermediate. And best of luck. I hope you find the winner. Do you know what's going to win?
I don't. No, I don't.
I thought you were going to say, when you said rather boringly, I've got a letter for everyone, I thought you were going to say, I've got the winner. But sadly not.
Not today.
Excellent. No. Well, look, super to see you, and best luck with it. When's the next one after today?
We go... let me have a look.
Right. Oh, well, it'll be a week or two's time.
Yeah, we go soon. 16th.
That's today. And just remind me of the date of the final.
14th of April.
14th of April. Super.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you.
Thank
you. Cooper, who's clerk of the course at Exeter, and as you've just heard, a really good egg when it comes to this type of action at Buckfastleigh and elsewhere. He'd be off to the Jockey Club and say, I had such a good day. We've got to keep on supporting these type of races. As I take you to the betting ring and Simon Knott.
Okay, you've seen Tom Malone there over the moon with Jeremy Central back from 2-1 into 6-4 favourite. Second up was Honest Opinion. Big Drifter out to 9-2. And third was Piley Court, 20-1 chance. Wouldn't have been any good for the bookies. One race left, they're still doing their money.
Right, so runners just arriving in the paddock for our next race, and we'll be having a look at them in just a moment or two's time. So everyone just catching their Everyone just catching their breath again after that big field race. Just going through Dancing Dave, going through our picture there, and behind Dancing Brave is Famous Clermont. I don't think we gave you Famous Clermont on our caption before, but that does run. So not quite certain what the mix-up was there, but number 4 does appear to be a runner here. So sorry about that confusion. Good to see Racing Snake there in front of those couple of horses. Really want to see if I can find that one. He's definitely in the paddock here. Right, so just confirmation, number 4 Famous Clermont does run. So apologies, that wasn't given on your caption a little bit earlier on. Slight gremlin in the system, but nothing to panic about. So we're waiting for one of the horses to get into the paddock, but I'm just keen to see number 4. All right, there's round to 2 just arriving in the arriving now. So going through the picture there, minimalistic, where and just about to come through is number 7 Hotel du Nord. Let's stick with Racing Snake. So stick with number 10 Racing Snake for this one. Racing Snake is a 7-year-old by Mount Nelson. Won a couple of races, as you can see. Clive Bolte Brooks trains, qualified via the Ledbury Hunt. And he owns the horse as well, Clive. Just had the 2 runs and won both of them. Didn't always jump brilliantly when winning a maiden race at Chansley Corbett. That was December 2020. But better at Foss-Lass, overturning the favourite Envious Editor in a restricted. Though admittedly, that horse hasn't gone on from there. Plenty of success in the family as well. Grey half-sister by Marceline Snow Leopardess won the Beecher Chase the other day. So that's number 10, Racing Snake. Just looking for our favourite here, which is this number 4, Famous Clermont. Where are you? Right, he is just coming through. Right, stick with this horse in the centre now. That is Famous Clermont, number 4 on the attendant arm, as you can see. This one trained by Chris Barber for a partnership that he runs. Already a point-to-point winner, won a Larkhill maiden when shaping up nicely in some races for Kaylee Wallacott. Shaped up nicely in a bumper and a couple of hurdle races. Better than ever over the last 10 months, as you can see from the form figures. Winning a 2.5 mile restricted at Cottlestone, a 3 mile conditions race at the same track, and ran with credit again when second behind Markle Ridge. Multiple winner Markle Ridge in a mixed open at Barbary Castle before Christmas. Seems to be on the up, number 4 Famous Clermont, and that one is a pretty strong favourite as we rejoin Simon Knott for news from the betting ring.
Right, Dax Oliver betting under the Dick Oliver banner. I'm sure it's not good news, but I'm sorry, I've got to ask.
Well, we're doing all right, mate. We're in front, so I can't moan. Considering results, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. That's nothing special.
Well, that's good news from the betting ring. I thought it was going to be doom and gloom. And he smiled. Look, you better teach the others how to do it.
I'm trying to be positive.
So Famous Clermont, a pretty popular choice, but there are a few other interesting contenders here. Just coming round towards our camera now. That's Dancing Dave. Now, do you remember Dancing Dave? Ed Walker trains this, qualified via the Beaufort Hunt, owned by Stuart Jarrett. Got up practically in the shadows I hate that expression, in the shadows of the finishing post, because it's so often not correct, but it was correct on this occasion when Dancing Dave was successful in I think it was a 4-way finish, wasn't it, to a restricted race at Bratton Down in May. Had a 3rd place there in a restricted at Fleet in May. That reads pretty well behind Dr. Time and the winner Take It All, which won the restricted at Weybridge last weekend. So 2 Dancing Dave of interest. Just coming into the picture from the left there is number 3 Druid Spitfire. Maybe have more of a look at that one in a second. Now that's Rian de 2. It's just not being as straightforward as he might be. Rian de 2 as jockeys arrive in the paddock as Martin McIntyre, Fly McIntyre. Had a fall earlier on in the day, straight up on his feet, big smile on his face after that tumble. If you were watching one of the early races, or heard about it, the restricted, it was race 2. Fountain's Chief fell very heavily at the last fence and was down on the ground for some time, but happily was just winded. That race won by Stephen Steele. Just coming through the picture now is Minimalistic. Simon's back again. More news from the betting ring. So what have we got now? As Rian de 2 is just calmed down by one of those people with him. Right, Simon, what's the news?
Favourite 6-4 on best. Bookmakers desperate to get this one beaten because it's not gone their way at all this afternoon. So yeah, Famous Clermont is the one with Will Biddick on board. Down the card they go 16-1 Cottage Rose, 16 Dancing Dave, 33 Druid Spitfire. Famous Clermont we've already talked about. Over the page, Hotel de Nord is 6-1, 12 Minimalistic, Party Tunes and Racing Snake both around the 7-2 mark, and 12-1 Rian de 2. But you shop around, you'll get bigger, and the bookmakers are desperate to take the money to try and win something, salvage the day.
So on the whole, it hasn't been a good day for the bookies so far.
No, some of them are still saying they're winning, but you know, it's not been a good day. They've not had a proper result as such. It's what they're after.
So what is going to happen here? We're soon to find out. Thanks to Simon for that. Rian de 2 is really not being particularly cooperative. It's actually Fly McIntyre who's riding Rian de 2 this afternoon. I think yeah, I don't know. Horse just not happy about life at all. They've led Rian de 2 out onto the track where he's going to be mounted by Martin McIntyre. There's Party Tunes in your picture at the moment. And Cottage Rose being taken by Darren Andrews well away from Rian de 2 as he just doesn't behave very well out on the track. But here in the paddock, everyone seems much happier. Hotel du Nord is going through the picture in the diamond colours. And there's Party Tunes as well.
For our final race of the afternoon, it is the Exeter Racecourse Intermediate race.
So the signal has been given for the horses to make their way down to the start, and there they go for this final race of the afternoon.
Following them out is going to be Druid Spitfire.
It's just confirmed some jockey news ahead of this race. So the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4. They all run 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. And number 11, Rian de 2, is ridden by Martin McIntyre and was being a bit uncooperative on the way to the start. So they're gradually streaming out, and on their way.
Will Biddick, maroon with white star, royal blue sleeve, maroon cap and a white star on the cap. He's going again with number 2.
Is this the last race, says somebody? Unfortunately, yes, it is the last race of the day. Been a memorable afternoon.
The man of Charlie Swake, red with a navy diamond, navy sleeve, red stars, red cap.
It's Party Tunes making his way out. Like a bit of Party Tunes. This is an 8-year-old by Arakan, trained by Dean Summersby, qualified via the Tiverton Staghounds, owned by the trainer and Rita Underhill and Ruth Burrow as well. Given plenty of time, probably in need of first run last season at Maysmore, but after that bolted up in a good to firm maiden at Trebi-Dannon in April and at Upcote in May before rather running into one definite dilemma in a conditions race at Upcote at the end of May. Quite highly regarded, this Party Tunes. And when I say bolted up at Trebi-Dannon, do you remember that? It really was bolted up. So the horses are just being taken to have a look at that first obstacle, some of them. Some of them have already assembled at the start. Been an excellent afternoon of racing at Buckfastleigh. We appreciate there have been 1 or 2 technical glitches, for which we apologise and will sort out as far as the future is concerned. But hopefully you haven't missed too much of the action, and it hasn't detracted too much from your enjoyment of what was going on here. Here's a really good point-to-point announcement. We've just had a hip flask handed in, so you're even hearing announcements like that over the live stream. This live stream presented to you by the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area. We're live at Buckfastleigh races, historic Buckfastleigh. It's a reminder of the website, pointingdc.co.uk, and those various social media platforms as well. Should also give a plug to the point-to-point website, pointtopoint.co.uk. Invaluable website. And the Point-to-Point Authority with Weatherby's, real powerhouses behind this sport. Lovely to hear Colin Tizard with his winner earlier on, and really success with Molyneux in race 4, ridden by his 16-year-old grandson Freddie Gingell. Really getting behind the whole concept of point-to-point racing, and delighted to be racing at Buckfastleigh again. It's a favourite point-to-point track of his. First time racing here for 22 months because of the pandemic. But 3 fixtures scheduled, one today, obviously. One in the middle of February and one in the middle of, middle of March? You have to look up the exact date. There's another one in March anyway. But this is the Modbury Harriers fixture, and this is the Exeter Racecourse Intermediate race, one of a series of races which culminate in a final at Exeter in the spring. And the organisers and indeed the managers of the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area want to thank Exeter Racecourse and all sponsors today for their support. Tony Glynn's scaffolding earlier on in the day, Stanley Carpets as well, the Totnes and Bridgetown Races Company, the Jockey Club and the retraining of racehorses, and we also have Toad Hall Cottages.
9 runners left, facing up to the 3 miles.
So we're just about ready to go, and off we do go.
Very level break as well as they head on towards the first of 16, and Racing Snake is probably just the fractional advantage as they lead over that one. Racing Snake it was who took off and landed in front of Hotel du Nord. And then about a length then back to Rianda 2, who's travelling in third. Cottage Rose is just on his inside with Party Tunes there, 4 and 5. Druid Spitfire then 6. Dancing Dave is 7. Famous Clermont, the favourite, back in 8th on the inside of runners. And Minimalistic is number 9, the back marker. And about 7 lengths off the lead in this very early stages. Down on his nose there was Rianda 2. well picked up by Martin McIntyre. Just got in tight, landed steep, and they continue on their way. He's just lost a couple of places as a result of that. So settling down, Hotel du Nord on the inside of Racing Snake. They are 1 and 2. Rianda 2 back up on the outside with Party Tunes 3 and 4. Cottage Rose in those red and yellow colours in between those two is in about 5th place. Over that one, Druid Spitfire then back in the field as they continue on. Some of these just choosing a little bit of a wider course now. Some travelling right up on the inside and some travelling on the wide outside. You can see the gap as the ground's just got a bit cut up through the afternoon. So on they continue. Minimalistic still continues to be the back marker in the early stages. Still two complete circuits left to travel. They're going to miss this fence as they have done since the earlier races. So on they go. Hotel du Nord and Charlie Sprake lead them along from Racing Snake and Tommy O'Brien up on his outside. Rianda 2, Martin McIntyre back in 3rd. Druid Spitfire's back on them. Then Dancing Dave, who's wide on the course under Chloe Emsley. Over the next plain one, Party Tunes goes the shortest way right up on the inside. Cottage Rose just lost a few places back in the field. Famous Clermont, the favourite, happy to sit out the back in the early stages, goes the shortest way with Minimalistic up on his outside. Down the hill then towards the ditch for the first time, Hotel du Nord leading them along by about half a length and a half to in the lead from Racing Snake up on his outside. Rianda 2 jumped that well, all jumped it well actually. Back in 4th then is Party Tunes, just getting edging closer to the lead up on the inside there off the front 4. Cottage Rose then 5, Druid Spitfire 6, Dancing Dave 7 on the outside of Famous Clermont in 8th. And the back marker still, as he has been throughout the whole contest, is Minimalistic under Josh Newman. But now only 5 or 6 lengths off the lead. Down the side of the course then, this line of 3 come to the next plain fence. Hotel du Nord leads them along by a clear length. That's it, just gets in tight. They're packed close. And on his outside, Racing Snake with Rianda 2 still there back on the outside. Party Tunes still there on the inside in 4th, as they have been for quite a way. Druid Spitfire then 5, Dancing Dave now into 6. Cottage Rose is the one that's lost his place, is now the back marker. Minimalistic's gone past him, and Famous Clermont still continues to cut every corner on the inside. He's in about 6th or 7th now, just on the improve. Will Biddick just moving through a couple of the runners here. They turn back towards us, still well over a circuit to travel. And face up to the next plain fence. Party Tunes is trying to drive up the inside of Hotel du Nord, but not having too much of it. Hotel du Nord still is the front runner. Party Tunes then back in 2nd with Racing Snake up on his outside. Wide on the course is Rianda 2, sporting a wider course with Druid Spitfire. He's also very wide with Dancing Dave. Famous Clermont happy to come right up the inside as they continue on. Minimalistic still there, and Cottage Rose is now the back marker. Up the hill then, 1 complete circuit left to travel. Hotel du Nord leads them along from Party Tunes, the inside, back in 2nd. Then Racing Snake, Rianda 2. Famous Clermont still travels really kindly on the inside. Dancing Dave is very wide with Trivet Spitfire, Minimalistic, and then Cottage Rose over the next plain fence. And a bad mistake there, and a great sit by Anna Johnson on Druid Spitfire. Has shuffled her right to the back of the pack though, and lost quite a bit of ground. Down the hill then, Hotel du Nord still with the advantage. Hasn't really been headed throughout the whole contest under Charlie Sprake as they continue on. Party Tunes has been breathing down his neck most of the time. Right in behind him is now pulled wide to go and attack, but didn't jump that quite so well as the leader Hotel du Nord. Racing Snake's been on the premises throughout. He's back back in third. Famous Clermont slowly is edging towards the lead here. He's back into fourth now, and just on the steady improve. He's doing it pretty easy as well. Down the back straight they go then for the final time of the afternoon. Reander 2 is weakening, back in fifth. Dancing Dave up on the outside in sixth. Minimalistics picked off Druid Spitfire. You can forget Cottage Rose. Down the back straight they go then. Hotel du Nord with the advantage, but he's got a few challengers. And the big one looks like Famous Clermont on the inside. Still there, Racing Snake and Party Tunes in second and third. Back in fifth then, you've got Dancing Dave who's racing alone. They're getting away from the rest of the field, getting strung out down the back straight. Then Hotel du Nord still with the advantage by about a length and a half. Party Tunes, Famous Clermont are making 2 and 3. Still up on the outside as they turn back towards us. Now, Hotel du Nord still hasn't been headed, but he's got a 3 champing at him up there and in the back. Racing Snake, Party Tunes and Famous Clermont are still a line of 3 as they continue over that next one. Famous Clermont nearly jumped to the lead there. Hotel du Nord is coming up the inside of Hotel du Nord. The other 2 racing wide on the course there, Racing Snake and Party Tunes, but Famous Clermont has pretty much breezed into the lead under Will Biddick, looking for a quick fire double to finish the day. They've jumped the last. They're going to bypass this as they have done all, and he hasn't asked him a question. This is very, very impressive, and he's going to win as he likes. Famous Clermont hasn't been touched. He's going to go on and score very easily. Famous Clermont, one to keep your eye on, one for the future. Hotel du Nord has finished the race really, really well as well, having made all the running. Back in second. Party Tunes third. Racing Snake fourth, Minimalistic, then Cottage Rose and Druid Spitfire.
So there's your winner on centre of the screen now. I was telling you beforehand there was a tremendous point-to-point announcement earlier on. They said they found a hip flask. They've just had another good one in the long list of fine point-to-point announcements. Jump leads required by the commentator. Chris Clapham, who's been doing sterling work for us here this afternoon, presumably he's got an issue with his car. Anyway, no issues here, no jump leads required with this guy, Famous Clermont. Won a maiden race at Lark Hill, then ran under rules for a bit. 3R3, his form figures under rules for Kaylee Willicott. And just look at the way things have been going of late for Famous Clermont. Over the last nearly a year, won a restricted at Cottlestone, won a 3-mile conditions race at the same track, and actually, if you look at the form figures there, the 2 at Barber, an open there behind Markle Ridge, mixed open race at Barber before Christmas, was pretty good, and this one, as the clouds gather above us, it suddenly got quite dark here actually. Famous Clermont clearly on the up and now qualifies for the final of this series at Exeter Racecourse in the spring, and this horse has won in tremendous style, and there's some lovely shots of him, his trainer Chris Barber getting some of the owners involved to come in for a nice photograph. So while they have their photographs taken, and they'll be winged around the WhatsApp sphere, no doubt. Let's have a look at the closing stages and see just how straightforward it was. So there is the winner with the blue sleeves, jumps that one. So Will Biddick trains the leader at this stage, who he's just going past the leader. I think that's run with real credit, Hotel du Nord. Charlie Sprague, looking more and more polished, keeps that horse going really well on this long run-in. The horse giving him maximum effort, but however hard he tries, Famous Clermont's got this in the bag, hasn't he? He was very well supported beforehand, and he's breezed home to victory. Let's get a starting price of what price was he? Sent off as the 11-10 on favourite, Famous Clermont. And there he is again. Plenty of support. Yeah, let's get the confirmation of the result on the screen. And while we look at that, we'll also get... So we got confirmation the winner was returned as the 11-10 on favourite. Second was number 7 at Hotel du Nord at odds of 6-1. And third was number 9, Party Tunes, 4-1. So, and the distances you can see there. But whatever the distances were, you can multiply them by quite a lot, because it was pretty straightforward. And Chris Barber is here. It was pretty straightforward, wasn't it?
Well, no, it's quite a burden to carry 12.5 on that ground. Round here, it looked a really competitive race on paper. I mean, Hotel du Nord's got great form in Ireland. Racing Snake was very unexposed, so I was a little bit worried. But as it worked out, we didn't need to be. I mean, he's just a fantastic horse. I absolutely love him to bits.
He's really thriving at the moment.
He's just improved and improved. I mean, when we first got him, he wasn't very straightforward. He was very keen, gassy. Ed Bailey found him. He was a great buy from Ed for $5,000, and he's just nothing but improved. And I think hopefully we've got a good, exciting future, and main target the intermediate final at Cheltenham.
And where did he find him for that kind of money?
He bought him in Doncaster in the August sale.
Really?
And there was a bit of tit for tat that he went through, not sold for $8,000, and Ed had him on his radar for quite a long time, because he goes over there and looks at all these horses, and it just fell into place that it worked out. So.
Yeah, and that was a good run the other day, wasn't it? In second.
Fantastic.
Then he's won that in great style. So obviously, there's got to be stepping stones towards your target.
No, there is. I mean, we sort of jumped a step to go to Barbary. I mean, the owners were quite keen to sort of have a go, and maybe obviously the dream is always everyone wants to go to Cheltenham. But I sort of just said, look, we'll just take stock. This year, aim for the intermediate final, and maybe see if he keeps improving. Then maybe next year he will be a Cheltenham Fox Hunters horse. Yeah. But plenty of time, and we look after him, try and go up through the grades and keep improving.
And it must be hard enough keeping owners' feet on the ground. What about keeping your own feet on the ground? Because you dream like everyone else, don't you?
No, most definitely. No, I do, but I'm always a pessimist.
Are you?
I always try and prepare everyone for the worst. I always prepare for the worst, and anything better is a bonus. Yeah. But I mean, as I say, I'm blown away with that performance. He's sort of a really nice horse to have in the yard, pleasure, and the owners are absolutely great, enthusiastic bunch of people. I'm really looking forward to the future.
And earlier on the day, next one please, sort of went out quite quickly. Ground or?
Yeah, he was just the ground found him out. He's a big, weak baby. Probably my fault. Shouldn't have run him. But all he does is gallop at home. But he's just been found out on this ground. So go again on better ground. And the other horse, Piley Court of the Puds, own and bred, ran an absolute screamer. He's been very hard to train. A lot of issues. Hence coming to the track as a 7-year-old. Yeah. So hopefully next time we go very close.
So you've run 3 today. How many in your operation altogether?
20, just over 20.
So you're quite busy.
Yeah, no, all busy, and we've got plenty of 3-year-olds to try and go to war with, and try and keep Fran and Charlie and Tom and Gina on their toes with them, and look forward to the rest of the season.
Excellent. Well done there. You're going to have a lot of fun with that horse.
Fantastic.
And the others as well, I'm sure.
Brilliant.
Well done. Lovely to see Chris Barber, the winning trainer with Famous Clermont, which has won that in great style. As we go back to the betting ring and Simon Knott.
Right. It's been a lovely afternoon. It's been a lovely afternoon at Buckfastleigh here. Nice crowd. Locals knew it was on, which was good. Going was a bit heavy. Very nice place to be. And next time, don't sit by your fire. Come out to point-to-point racing. It's really, really fun.
That's brilliant, Barry. You're nowhere near as miserable as they say, are you?
Sometimes.
A lovely sum up of the afternoon from the betting ring, and thanks to Simon for all his efforts during this afternoon. Our final winner, just to confirm, Famous Clermont, was the 11-10 on favourite. In fact, we can look right the way back to the start of the day and tell you the story of the day here at Buckfastleigh. Racing at Buckfastleigh for the first time for 22 months, and what a good card we had. I'm just going to get Simon actually to come and rejoin me in just a second as we do look at these. Our first winner was his own star. Stuart Sampson trains that one. Darren Andrews on board, and that beat Summerlee's. I'm sure that's probably an open maiden race to take one or two out of. His own star at 3-1, successful in that race, winning in good style. Then Stephen Steele, I don't think it matters which way round you go for it, finished alone in our restricted race. The second race on the card, odds of 3-1, I think, were 2-1. If we can just go back to that previous caption, please. So odds of 2-1. Stephen Steele, who finished alone. The footnote from that race was that Fountain's Chief fell very heavily at the final fence, but he was up okay. It was a tired fall, but they then stopped using that obstacle for the remainder of the day, so we were down 3 obstacles for the remainder of the day. Race 3 was the Totnes and Bridgetown mixed open race. Good one this as well, and Shamaran and Ben Sutton successful, beating Hazard and Tommy O'Brien. Because there was no final fence, I suspect having 3 less to jump was no disadvantage for Shamaran. Some of his jumping just wasn't great, but he was resolute on the run from the second last, which was today's last, to beat Hazard and Dancer du Large. Then we had the Jockey Club and Retraining of Racehorses veteran race, won by Molyneux. This was the highlight of the day. You'll be reading about these in the media online or whatever. You'll be reading about this result. Molyneux successful. What price was Molyneux returned?
Molyneux was returned 5-4.
Favourite?
Yep.
5-4 favourite here, and won in good style. 16-year-old Freddie Gingell, owned and trained by his granddad, Colin Tizard, and it's well known, the story that Freddie's mum Kim died a couple of years ago, and it was a poignant success. People here at Buckfastleigh delighted for Molyneux, delighted for Freddie Gingell, delighted for the extended Tizard family as well. That has happened this afternoon, and it was not lost. The poignancy of the result was not lost on anyone here at the track. And then the last 2 races of the day, I just wanted to confirm with Simon the SP for Jeremy Central, the first part of a last 2 races double for Will Biddick. Jeremy Central
6-4 favourite.
6-4 favourite, beat Honest Opinion or Honest Of.
Yeah, Honest Of was a big drifter. It's probably because people didn't know what it was called. That's why they didn't back it. But it was 92 in the end.
Yeah, and Piley caught third. That's run with credit actually in third. 20-1 in third. And Famous Clermont successful in the last race of the day. So Will Biddick on the 13 winner mark for the season. And that just about, thanks to Simon for all that, and that just about concludes the entertainment from a now rather gloomy Buckfastleigh on this Sunday afternoon. Gloomy in terms of the weather. It's got quite grey overhead, a bit chilly as well, but some excellent sport this afternoon, and nothing better than that success for the extended Tizard family, with Molyneux ridden by 16-year-old Freddie Gingell. This has been a live stream presented for you by the Devon and Cornwall point-to-point area. Website pointingdc.co.uk, at pointingdc, the handle for all the various social media platforms. And there's further racing here at Buckfastleigh on the 13th of February, and there's another fixture in March, and the live feed will be back in 7 days' time from Chipley Park. So until then, from all the team here, from me, Cornelius Slicer, for the extended team, all sorts of people behind cameras, Matt directly behind my camera, and everybody else, it's good night and have a good week.
Action packed.
Countrywide.